Nebraska has lost. And we'll have something about the coaches, Tom Osborne, and the good one, Bobby Bowden, when we come back to Lincoln, Nebraska. This is the best place to watch football and have the greatest fans. But come to Nebraska, and they have got a point. But they did lose. And Bud Wilkinson, above this great big red Nebraska band, Tom Osborne's attitude this week. Everybody's talking quarterback, but he's saying if we've got the right kind of people, if we've got the right kind of pride, then we will give a good effort.
Well, what he's getting at, Jim, is that they were bitterly disappointed to lose last week. They were picked in the top 10 contenders for the national championship. What he's really saying is that we weren't aggressive enough last week. We didn't play with enough intensity. We didn't have enough team unity. We made too many mechanical errors. If we've got the kind of character that I believe our men have, we won't do that today.
All right, now we come to Bobby Bowden, beginning this murderous schedule. Bobby is just, he said, I've known for 6 years about this. Our boys know about this. He said, now we're going to find out. Let's get on with it and find out the kind of program we've got. He seems very relaxed.
Well, the number one thing in his mind today is how well will his defense contain Nebraska. He believes that if Nebraska does not make any big plays against them, that with Starks kicking, they'll stay in the game and maybe they can scratch around and pull off another upset.
Well, this band is about to leave the field, and so are we. And when we come back, we'll be ready for the opening kickoff between Nebraska and Florida State.
Field judge Jerry Kleinsmith and Bill Lang, the back judge, and they're now ready for the toss of the coin. And as you can see, there are many captains for Florida State as they begin this, well, one of the roughest road schedules for any collegiate team in memory. And Nebraska smarting under the blows delivered by the Cornhuskers, opponents of last week, Iowa. The temperature about 80 degrees. Where we are, Bud, high above Memorial Stadium. There's a pleasant breeze. Down where we were for the opening of the show, it's a little warm.
Might help Florida State a little bit.
Vance Carlson talking with his group. I can see Jimmy Williams on the far side, along with the referee, or I should say the umpire, Mark Maurer. And Carlson tells us that Florida State has won the toss and will receive to your left. More than 75,000 people here. This is the home opener for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Florida State will have Stockstill, the veteran. He'll be 25 in December at quarterback. Burnett is the fullback. Williams, who has been hurt, makes his first start at tailback over Billy Allen. McKinnon, one wide receiver, and Williams, the other wide receiver. And now when you get to the offensive line, this is what Bobby Bowden has been worried about and what Bud Wilkinson has been talking about, because there's a great deal of inexperience. Mowat, however, who will alternate with Childers at tight end, is a veteran. But Voltapetti, Brannon at guard, Tom McCormick, the center, a walk-on. The right guard is Bob Burson, who was a center, and the right tackle is Eric Ryan. They have given up 10 sacks of their quarterback, Rick Stockstill. And that is a big question mark early on in this game. What a beautiful sight in Lincoln, Nebraska. What a great day for college football, as a lot of people have said before me. Kevin Seibel, the junior from Vermillion, South Dakota, will kick off defensively for Nebraska. Jimmy Williams, Gadowski at tackle, as Williams' brother Toby is hurt. Heinlein probably will not go at middle guard. We'll pick that up. Waxter at tackle, and Kreiner at the right defensive end. They may have a change in the middle for Nebraska with Jeff Merrill moving in there. Linebackers, Dan Kroger. McWhirter definitely will not start. He is hurt. Lindquist may start at left corner. Sims, the monster. Krejci, the safety, and Lewis on the right corner. Seibel to kick off. Greg Allen, a freshman, number 26, in the middle, standing about on the 1-yard line. Allen backs to the end zone. Will he bring it out? Answer no. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Bobby Bowden at a press conference last week after his victory over Memphis State, won 10-5, said, defensively, we're terrific. If we don't get better offensively, we are going to have a disastrous season.
And as we mentioned a moment ago, Jim, pre-game, he's concerned that his defense may give up a big play. If they don't do that, he thinks they can contain the Huskers.
All right, Stockstill out of the I formation. Tailback, that is Ricky Williams. Williams gets across the 25, on his feet out to the 29. Griffin, Georgia, making his first start. Jeff Merrill, who is a new man at middle guard, number 74, over Heinlein, made the stop.
The basic plan that Bobby Bowden has is to make the sweep go either to the short side, the split end side, or to the strong side. If they can make that go, then they think they can open it up inside.
Tony Johnson is coming as a wide receiver on second down and 1. Florida State, a very calm team, hands to their fullback, and he's got the first down. Mike Whiting, the senior from Largo, Florida. Tom Osborne has made some changes, moving Merrill to the middle guard spot from a tackle position. And he's got Stromath, who is at tackle because Toby Williams has been hurt. Bobby Bowden, his offense has looked pretty good early going, and Tom Osborne was very upset with his defensive down lineman in the Iowa game. First down, Florida State. Drive started at the 20. Shot still has not thrown yet. Hands off, and that's his second man through. The tailback, Ricky Williams, and Dave Stromath, number 99, playing that left tackle spot for the first time, makes the stop after a short game.
Looks as though he has some daylight there, but most of that is because of the big splits that exist in the Florida State line. You can see the closing, and the last man, of course, Steve Damkroger, the great linebacker for Nebraska.
Dennis McKinnon, with 9 catches, comes wide to the right. Johnson is split to the left. On second down 8, here comes Williams again, and this time he's shut down. First time the Nebraska defense has arisen to shut down. Krejci came up from safety, but Stromath and Williams made the play go. And now Billy Allen is coming in. Billy Allen is a freshman whom Bobby Bowden spotted while speaking at football clinics over in Europe. He was playing in the Air Force. And at age almost 25, Billy Allen is a freshman in college. Third down and long. Third and about 8. Split back. Billy Allen running, gets away from one tackler, but not too many more. And for the first time today, we're going to see Ron Stark come on. Now, this is the man that you, Bud, were talking about, a senior out of 50 Lakes, Minnesota. Averaged last year better than 45 yards a punt and over 44 this year.
I believe he's the best college kicker I've seen. His hang time consistently is over 5 seconds, which means that even though he kicks it a long, long way, there's plenty of time to get the coverage downfield.
Alan Lyday goes deep, along with Irving Fryer. Now the line of scrimmage is at 37. Stark, a left-footed kicker, does not get a great kick away. Bounces on the 30, inside the 30, and is going to get a good distance out of it. I want to tell you, it's rolling inside the 15. Not a good kick, Simpson said. It turned out to be a great kick.
When you've got them back as deep as they were, Jim, and you kind of slide one, why it gets you a good roll.
Nate Mason will start at quarterback today. That's a big point of contention here, quarterback. It'll be Phil Bates, the fullback, Roger Craig, the I-back, Anthony Steeles, the wingback, and Todd Brown, the split end. First down. We will give you the offensive line in just a moment. Mason is a junior, hands off to the I-back. Craig vaults and is knocked down and picks up maybe 10 yards. Moving behind that offensive line of Williams, Tice, Mandelko, Remington, who has to go against James Gilbert, the nose guard, and did a good job there. Lather is scheduled along with Quafik on the right side. First down. The offense was much maligned after last week. One play, one first down. The fullback straight ahead for a couple of yards. Phil Bates, the senior out of Omaha. And you can see the Florida State folks are saying, we recovered a fumble. There's no fumble. Defensively, they will line up this way. At left end, we have Jarvis Corsi, although you see Campbell there, Carricker, Gilbert, Butchu made the recovery of the tackle, and McLean. Now that varies with what you see there, but these are the folks that are in the ballgame. Second down, 7 to go. Ball on the 27-yard line. Linebacker is very deep. Mason keeps the football, and he is ridden down hard by Allendale Campbell. Just moving into the lineup, number 90. Linebackers, Hester, oh, is he a good one. Ken Rowe, a walk-on out of Alabama. At one corner, Clayton. At the other, the only veteran, James Harris, is a Harris at safety and a Riley at weak safety. But James Harris is the only man who started there last year. Third down and 5 to go. And now Mike Rozier is in at tailback, number 30.
bootleg play by Mason. He handled the ball extremely well. The Florida State team went for the first fake. As you can see, it'll be to the right side of the camera. Good ride, puts the ball on his hip to hide it, gets a corner turn behind some good blocking, and then lowers the shoulder to drive forward for the first down as Harris makes the tackle.
10:41 to go. We're just in the first quarter. There's no score. Last year, Florida State won it in the 18-14 upset, with Nebraska dominating the first half. Now the up man is the fullback, Phil Bates. Bates is out near the 40-yard line. Linebackers Hester, 83, and Rowe, 38. And let's change. That was not Bates. New fullback into Dud Wilkening, a sophomore out of Littleton, Colorado. Wears the number 34, and he's just gone to the sidelines. Tom Osborne. There, been a rough week for Osborne. Bates back in now. Anthony Steele comes wide to the left. On second down, 5 from the 39. Turns it inside and gets near a first down. Hester is up top along with Allendale Campbell, numbers 83 and 90. Just shy of the first down at the 44. It'll be third and short yardage.
Good inside fake that time by Bates. Froze both the linebackers, Hester and Rowe.
Nate Mason scheduled to start. Mark Maurer, the senior, started last week, and everybody's waiting for Turner Gill, the sophomore, to come in at quarterback for Nebraska. But Mason is running a team rather smartly at the moment. Mason, first down, off the 45-yard line. Florida State losing to Oklahoma by a single point in the Orange Bowl on January the 1st. Winners of 2.
Dave Remington, the center, number 50, is considered by everyone the best offensive center in college football. He's got such a remarkably quick takeoff as he snaps the ball, and his block set up the first down on the quarterback sneak by Mason.
Scott Woodard is in the ball game, a senior wide receiver. Way out wide left. Mason carrying the football. Knocked down. Picks up about 8 yards on the play. Eric Riley, the free safety, number 8, made the saving stop of number 8, Nate Mason. Ball is on the 45 of Florida State.
Rowe and Hester are great linebackers, but when you get this kind of an inside fake, you can see the tailback. Normally it's the fullback, and then the quarterback goes back with the option. This time over, both the fullback and the tailback went inside. The linebackers had to go for them. They did. Mason picked up a nice game.
Todd Brown back in as your wide receiver. They'll alternate, he and Scott Woodard. Tailback.
It's really a great run, and it's what you call determined ball carrying. Craig averaged 7.1 yards a try last year. This gives you some idea why. As he breaks one tackle, his legs are simply too strong. He breaks another arm tackle, cuts upfield. Harris comes across and finally does put him down.
Remember, this drive began inside the Nebraska 15-yard line. They're now at the Florida State 8. They've not gone to the air yet. Mason takes the pitch out. Look out! Touchdown!
Well, they had a lot of red balloons, Jim, and they're waiting for that score, and there they go.
Kevin Seibel will come on to add the extra point. And a lot of folks were using such words as pitiful for last week's exhibition of the Nebraska offense. Seibel adds the extra point. 87-yard drive. An 8-yard run. Nebraska scores first. The Cornhuskers looking for their first win. 7. Florida State undefeated in 2-0. Tim Simpson, Bud Wilkinson, and the Cornhuskers have looked good.
Take a look at the touchdown again. The fake to Bates. It's the option play. Mason sees the daylight, and Mason turns it on. He's a strong runner, 195-pound junior.
But 55 of those yards, as you watch Mason, were gained by Roger Craig, the I-back.
Not a great inside fake that time. Bates looking for somebody to block rather than faking for the ball, and he must have wiped out one of the linebackers to have it that open for Mason.
Craig Allen remains a deep man as Seibel is to kick off. They sputtered against the Hawkeyes last week, but the Cornhuskers looked awfully sharp this week against a good defensive Florida State team. Going to be taken by one of the up men, Mike Whiting, a fullback. Whiting gets through a hole and out across the 30-yard line. First and 10 for Florida State. Stockstill has not thrown yet. 10 plays for those 88 yards, 3 minutes, 54 seconds. And, of course, Nate Mason on the option play took it in from 8 yards out. Tony Field made the stop of Whiting. It's first and 10, Florida State.
Have yet to throw their first forward pass.
Williams remains a tailback, number 44. Whiting, the fullback, 27. Rick Stockstill, the veteran quarterback. His father was his high school coach in front of Dana Beach. Pitch back to Williams. And Williams only gets a yard or two as Steve Damkoger, he of the great Nebraska football tradition. His brother was quite a fullback, and other members of his family, including Dad, have been around Nebraska. A gain of a yard, second down and 9.
And the monster man Sims was playing on the outside, guessing that the sweep would come that way. He was absolutely right. He turned it in, and no good play at all.
7-0, Nebraska, and Florida State second and long. Hester and Johnson, your wide receivers, and there's a throw off the hands of Jesse Hester, the freshman out of Belle Glade, Florida. Has 6 catches, so that's not the first time they've thrown to him.
Looked like Stockstill threw the ball quite well. Hester just on a slant pattern to the inside. It's a time pattern. Hester really didn't look quickly enough to see the ball, and by looking just a little bit late, he wasn't ready for the reception. A good throw by Stockstill.
Hester goes wide to the left, and Phil Williams comes wide to the right. Passing down, certainly, 3rd and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Stockstill, still with the ball, gets it out here, caught and down immediately. Childers caught the ball, and Jimmy Williams jumped on top of him, peeling off from his end position. And again, Ron Stark has to come in and kick the ball away.
Pretty good pressure here by the Nebraska rush. Stockstill rolls and then turns, looks the opposite way, gets rid of the ball just as he was about to be hit. 4-yard gain on the play, but Stark now must be back to kick.
Irving Fryer has gone deep, along with Alan Lyday, who is not a scholarship man, but is starting at the cornerback spot today. Look at the hang time. Lyday still gets it at the 21-yard line, and has a wall on the far side and gets across the 35. The non-scholarship man is all the way back to midfield. Lyday is starting because Rick Lindquist is injured, but without a scholarship, Lyday cannot even eat at the training table.
The 35-yard punt. A great return here. Excellent blocking downfield. Lyday appears that he's got a little daylight there, but he's got to cut back. And he picked up 20 yards in return, 15 net yards on the punt.
All right, here's a quick pitch back to Craig. Craig breaks a couple of tackles again. Wow, what a run by Roger Craig, who had 55 yards before that one and broke at least 2 tackles before Eric Riley, number 8, the free safety out of Fort Myers, made the tackle. They'll move the sticks. It's first down, Nebraska.
A lot of great tailbacks in college football this year. You're looking at one of them right here. Craig has the ability to lower the shoulder, fight through tacklers, pick up extra yardage.
Didn't hear much about him last year because of a fellow by the name of Jarvis Redwine, who was All-American at that spot. Nebraska looks good, leads by 7. Here's Mason back, first throw, looks downfield and overthrows his man Scott Woodard, the senior, at about the 5-yard line. That is the first pass thrown by Mason all day. Harvey Clayton was the defender, but Woodard was behind the defenders, and the ball was overthrown. And it is second down. So on first and 10, they try something different. Todd Brown has come in. He's been bothered with a bad ankle, number 29. A year ago, when Nebraska lost to Florida State, Brown had his greatest day. 2 touchdown catches. Second down 10 from the 40-yard line of Florida State. That is Mason. Now the pitch out to Craig. And down he goes. Now, Bud was Was there a mix-up there or not? It kind of looked like it, but Craig was trailing on the play and was able to pick up some yardage.
It looked a little bit like the center snapped the ball early. However, the corner man, Harris, did an excellent job of fighting off the block of the flanker back in Nebraska and making the tackle.
Woodard back in. He and Todd Brown bringing in the plays from Tom Osborne. Was looking on 3rd and 6. Not using the I formation this time. Lone setback. Around this way comes that man again, Roger Craig, and look out. First down inside the 15. They took out the right side of the defense of Florida State. Nobody there, and Craig has great quickness.
Play that you don't see run very often, simply a reverse play to the wingback. It's a pass formation. Bates the only man in the backfield. There's the quick handoff on the reverse play to Craig. He gets great downfield blocking, turns upfield, and has put the Cornhuskers in business on the 14-yard line.
Rozier replaces Craig. Craig now has gained 83 yards, and we've got 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. First down at the 14-yard line. Nebraska leads and are looking to stack things up. Phil Bates, the fullback, down to the 5, maybe the 4-yard line before he is stacked up. Well, they said it was a very good practice for Nebraska. Bobby Bowden came in there rather relaxed. As I'll repeat what he said. He said that we've known about this schedule for 6 years. Let's get on with it and see what kind of program we have. Gets next week off, and then Ohio State, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh at LSU. Wide to the right goes Scott Woodard on 2nd down and 7 from the 11-yard line. In motion steals. Here's the tailback. And that is Mike Rozier, the sophomore out of Camden, New Jersey, and he got a couple of yards. And here comes a big play for both squads. Alan Dave Campbell made the stop. Craig has come back in 83 yards, remember. 7-0 Nebraska. The ball on the 7-yard line, and 3rd and 4.
Bobby Bowden was worried about the big plays, but he can't really say that there's anything wrong about the pattern of the defense. It's just the fact that Craig has run through the tacklers. They've been in a position to make the tackle, but just haven't been able to do it.
Steals wide right. Todd Brown left. On 3rd and 4, Craig back in as the I back. Now he goes in motion. There's the fullback Bates, and he does not get the first down. And that should bring on Kevin Seibel, who missed 2 chances last week at Iowa, including a 27-yarder that would have tied the score. Ken Rowe, the linebacker, made the good stop. Though Seibel is 0 for 2, got a strong leg, has been consistent. Mark Maurer, who started last week at quarterback, will hold. And this will be a 24-yard attempt. He missed a 27-yarder, as we said last week, to tie the score against Iowa. 24 yards out. Seibel looking for his first. Has his first. 3:27 left in the first quarter, and the Cornhuskers lead Florida State 10-0. Kevin Seibel with that 24-yard field goal tees it up now. And again, Greg Allen, for a freshman, he is getting a baptism of fire here. He took the opening kickoff, then he took the kickoff after the touchdown, and here he is for a 3rd time. Whiting actually took it, but he's lined up there deep before better than 75,000 people. Got to be quite a thrill for a youngster, a freshman. Playing out here where football is a religion. Whoops, very short. Very short. Taken by the up man there, Cedric Jones. A lot of speed, and the first flag of the day goes down. First flag of the day goes down. And it is the Cornhuskers who are clapping their hands as though it may be a clipping or holding penalty, and the Florida State would start out well in the hole. Seibel actually made the stop, and the penalty will be called against Florida State. And for Bobby Bowden's group today, but not much has gone right.
They've made 1 first down the first possession they had. They ran the sweep to the left, and since that time they haven't begun to make any penetration of the Nebraska defense.
Toby Williams, a brother of Jimmy Williams, is coming. He's been hurt and will play left tackle. So you got the Williams brothers. Clip is called. Bobby Bowden's group in the hole back at the 10-yard line. Heinlein has come in at middle guard. He was a starter a week ago, but not today. number 75, Henry Waxter, a very strong 270-pound senior from Epworth, Iowa. Ball is on the 11, so only give him about a yard. Call it 2nd and 9.
I think a good call. Nebraska thinking pass, Florida State not being able to run the ball, and it was the draw play.
Dennis McKinnon wide to the right, and Tony Johnson left. 2nd and 9. The blitz is on. Almost got it flagged down. Coming from the right side. Waxter made it, but it looked to me like the blitz was on. Looked like Ritter was coming.
Waxter got off ahead of the ball that time.
That's the flag. That's why it looks so good, huh?
I don't know. Maybe somebody moved because they're talking to the Nebraska captain now.
That is Jimmy Williams, number 96 there. And as we told you, his older brother, Toby Williams, has been hurt, has just come in to play left tackle alongside of him. Toby's number is 97, Jimmy's 96. Offside, you're right. Waxter was on his way. So it is 2nd down and about 3.5.
And that helps you a great deal when you need to make a first down to get yourself out of a tremendous offensive hole, I should say, when they're backed up close to their own goal line.
2nd down, short. Stockstill has the football. Trying to get outside, and Felici makes the stop. Tony Felici playing that end position. Almost a linebacker in college. An outside linebacker dropped off, had him all the way, and it's 3rd and short.
You don't have much chance on a bootleg when they don't take the bait. And as you can see here, the linemen were moving that way, but from the other side, there just never was any chance about Felici. He was on top of it right from the start.
Junior out of Omaha, 3rd down and about 6. Both wide receivers for the first time are to the right. Both McKinnon and Johnson to the right. Florida State trailing 10-0. The blitz is on there. Stockstill in trouble. Does not have great speed. This will do him no good at all, but he had nobody to throw to. Jimmy Williams is the man who put him down. But Brent Evans was coming on the blitz, and Stockstill was in trouble, and Waxter is hurt down on the ground.
The Florida State lineman did a good job of picking up the blitz. That was one of the things that Bobby Bowden was worried about, the ability to pick it up, and they did a good job here, as you can see. The extra men coming, all those red shirts, the backs come across and pick them up, and the other linemen pick them up. He's got time to throw, everybody's covered, and then he's got to run for his life, and he doesn't quite have speed enough. He has to turn back up inside as Brown was there to force him back upfield.
Well, big Henry Waxter is still down on the ground, being operated on. Now he is limping off. We'll come back in just a moment. It'll be 4th down, Florida State. 1 minute, 32 seconds to go. Waxter limping off. We're in the first quarter. It has been all Cornhuskers. Florida State has 1 first down, got 5 yards on the penalty to make it 2nd and short. Still cannot pick up the first down. And now Ron Stark will kick the ball away again to Alan Lyday and Irving Fryer. He's been kicking into the wind throughout the first quarter. Left footer, wow. Back inside the 40, taken there by Irving Fryer. The wall sets up on the right side, and oh, gee, a fine play by Larry Harris, the defensive back, number 30, nails him at the 46, but that is outstanding field position for Nebraska despite the 54-yard punt of Ron Stark.
And once again, Florida State was held without a first down. They've had 3 possessions. They've made only 1 first down. The Nebraska defense has been dominant.
Well, you're right. And the Nebraska offense, but has not done too poorly either.
Well, they haven't had to punt the football yet. They scored both possessions. 1 touchdown, 1 field goal.
And Craig has 83 yards from that I-back position. He is not in there now. Rozier is, and that's Rozier with the football. And down he goes after maybe a yard gain. Wilkening is the fullback. Rozier's number 30, Wilkening 34. So it'll be 2nd down long. Allendale Campbell, the sophomore out of Woody Hayes and now Earl Bruce territory, Columbus, Ohio, made the stop. 2nd down. Last minute of the first quarter, and the Cornhuskers, upset by Iowa last week, have come out looking almost pluperfect for the first quarter.
Very polished football team.
2nd down 10, going with their junior quarterback, Nate Mason. Now looks as though he wants to throw, wants to run, can't do either. Ball gets away and pitches out, and then Rozier takes it nearly to the first down, as Mason did a good job there.
I'm wondering if it was a forward pass. It is a lateral pass, of course. He was behind the line of scrimmage, I'm sure, so it makes no difference. But it was a great execution on the part of Mason, because normally you aren't able to make that lateral that late. Craig is your backer, not Craig, Rozier rather. You can see how the ball got to him very, very late. It did look like it was slightly on a forward angle, but it was behind the line of scrimmage and can be a forward pass from there.
They're down and inches to go. Lost the football, picked up by Harris of Florida State. That's the first turnover of the game. James Harris, a senior out of Gainesville, and this is by far the best field position that Florida State has had. They'll start on their own 46-yard line with 28 seconds to go in the first quarter.
This is the one play that you never expect to fumble it on. The quarterback's going to have it all the way. Mason on the quarterback sneak is hit very hard. The ball pops out. No one around it but the white shirts of Florida State.
Now let's see with good field position whether Stockstill opens it up or not. He's gotten very little. He does open up, throwing on first down, has his man. Number 87, Phil Williams, dropped the football. Looks like Nebraska got it. Hold on. They did. Stockstill gets the ball inside the 30 to Phil Williams, and Tony Felici made the recovery of the fumble of Williams.
It's a little drop back pass here. Stockstill, after 3 steps, throws. The receiver gets the ball very nicely, but as you can see, he doesn't ever quite have it put away. I don't think he really ever had control of the football. I don't think it was a fumble, although I can see why it was called as a reception, because he took 2 or 3 steps while he was juggling it.
All right, Steve Damkroger is the man who actually fell on the ball, number 35, as we can see. So credit Steve with that fumble recovery. The ball at the 27-yard line, and here come the Cornhuskers again. 19 seconds to go in the first quarter. Steals. This is Mason. Mason pitches out. Flag down. Rozier goes down after crossing the 35-yard line. But a very quick flag as Rozier went to turn the corner. James Harris again in on the stop. He is a fine defensive back playing that corner, and he is a defensive captain that is with him at their talking. Holding to be charged against Nebraska.
First quarter score, Oklahoma State 7, Tulsa nothing.
I didn't see the penalty. I believe it was the outside man.
Well, they're taking a little time, and from a 31, they will step it off. It's back to the 21-yard line. Nebraska has had one 84-yard drive, remember, for its first touchdown. First time it got its hands on the football. Scott Woodard out wide to the right. Anthony Steele, to whom they have not yet thrown, to the left. Rozier and Wolfing remain your backs on a rather warm day. Temperature in the low 80s. 10-0 Nebraska, first quarter. And there's Rozier. What a big hole. What a big hole. Got most of those 10 yards on the penalty back. It'll be second down at about 9. Ron Hester, the senior good linebacker, number 83, makes the stop on the final play of the first quarter. Now Nebraska has looked impressive. Florida State has sputtered. First quarter score, Nebraska 10, Florida State nothing. Bud Wilkinson and more than 75,000 others at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, the home opener for the Cornhuskers, and they've started out in impressive fashion. I'll caution you again, and I don't mean to say that Florida State is going to come bounding back in the second half, but this is the kind of game that these two teams played in the first half last year, before the ball took some funny bounces in the second half, and after being down 14-3 at the half, Florida State came back to win. Nate Mason, the man of the hour out of Greenville, Texas, 2 for 6 before today. They started Maurer last week. A lot of people waiting for the sophomore Turner Gill to come in, but Mason has looked very good.
Florida State had a shot to get back after recovering the fumble, but they fumbled on their completed pass.
Second down, 9 to go. Steele's in motion. Flag goes down. I think he turned upfield too soon as Rozier goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. I think Anthony Steele's turned upfield too soon, which would be a motion penalty.
Take a look at it again as he comes across in motion. Here he comes. It's an end zone shot. We really can't see, but I think the fullback Bates also moved ahead of the snap.
You're right. Wolkening was the man on his way. talking to James Harris what it is they want to do. We'll remind you that our referee today, heading the crew, is Vance Carlson. And Harris says Florida State wants the 5 yards. Takes it back inside the 25 to the 23.5-yard line. First quarter was nearly mistake-free till the last minute. We had a fumble, a completed pass and another fumble, and this is our third penalty. 2 against the Cornhuskers. Bates is back in at fullback. Steele's wide left. Second down and 14 to go.
The first quarter statistics, obviously, Nebraska, even though they got no passing in total control, 148 yards.
Mason is going to go back and throw. If he gets it away, bumps into his own man and in trouble, and that's the first time that they have lost any ground, and he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Todd Brown was the man downfield that he was looking for.
I think Todd Brown had his man beat also. There's a good running fake here. Bates going for the ball. Mason then turning and setting. He can't quite see Brown, who was beating his man. And a big rush that time coming in from Character, and that blocked his view. He had to try to run with the football. Couldn't get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Nebraska has done extremely well on third down situations. And here's the problem. They got third down and nearly 15 to go. They lead 10-0. And the ball goes the eye back. Rozier breaks it. One tackle, not the other. It's fourth down. Out to the 27.
And that's what penalties do to you, Jim. They'd have made the first down. They had 2 penalties in the same series.
Now we'll get a good look at Grant Campbell, a junior out of Southfield, Michigan, who was a junior college transfer. But at Rick's Junior College in Indiana, he averaged better than 48.5 yards per kick, 48.6. And this first kick, we'll watch him in today. Again, he is kicking into the wind. Cedric Jones, number 41, deep for Florida State. Ball high. Jones not calling for the fair catch. It'll get a Florida State bounce and is down by Steinkühler, number 71, a defensive guard, inside the 40-yard line. A reminder that ESPN on Saturdays and Sundays, beginning October the 3rd and through the month of October, starting at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, we've got something called Sports Center Plus. Over 4 hours of sports news. You'll be kept up to the minute on college and pro football, the baseball pennant race, the hockey seasons, the baseball seasons, Dick Vitale, Paul McGuire, Randy Gordon, George Grant, all of them there. Sports Center Plus on ESPN starting Saturday and Sunday, first weekend in October. Stockstill hands off, and that is Ricky Williams, and they'll give him a yard, and that is all. Ricky, a junior out of Griffin, Georgia, starting ahead of Billy Allen. We've seen Allen in on one play thus far. Henry Waxter, who went off injured, is back, and he made that tackle along with Steve Dabco.
Thus far, the offensive line of Florida State has simply been unable to do anything with the defensive linemen of Nebraska. They're just dominant.
Second down, that was their word coming into the game. Stockstill has a man open out there, and there he is, number 6, Dennis McKinnon. And we may have a first down. Alan Lydade knocked him out of bounds. If we do, it'll be the second first down. And the first since Florida State first got its hands on the ball.
Stockstill setting the throw, simply a quick outside pattern. McKinnon makes the catch very nicely. Lydade makes the tackle very nicely, but he gave him a little bit too much cushion, and it is a first down.
First down 10. The ball on the 48-yard line of Nebraska. 10-0 to Cornhuskers. Merrill returns as the middle guard, number 74 for Nebraska. It's back, and that is Williams. Williams gets a good hold and rambles down to the 40-yard line. Ricky Williams.
Great block that time by Whiting. I think he picked up Dan Kroger as he was filling the hole. There's the cut, and you can see the block right there as the defensive man goes down. Williams doing a good job of carrying the ball.
You know, Rick Stockstill was only sacked 8 times last year with a veteran offensive line, 10 times before today. This year in 2 games.
Makes you a little gun shy.
Sure does. Second down and only a couple to go. Looking to pick up the first down, and that is your fullback Mike Whiting. Third down and a yard and a half to go as he gets to the 40-yard line before Steve Damkruger, number 35, along with some good help from Dave Stromack, makes the stop. Chris Van Norman now playing in a secondary for, well, I just said that, and Chris goes out for Nebraska. Wide to the right goes Phil Williams. To the left, Dennis McKinnon. Third down, short yardage. Williams. That's going to be close. Going to be close. And it'll be interesting to see if they do not make it, what they choose to do. Meaning Florida State. Cornhuskers can move the football from almost anywhere. Florida State has got to have some kind of offense underway.
Good defensive moves here by Nebraska. They know it's going to be an inside play. They toss back to Williams. Look at those red shirts close.
Well, we found out not what they're going to do, but rather they are going to go for the first down. Stark is not going to kick it away. They have one play, and now Tony Johnson apparently is coming in with yet another play. Fourth down, inches to go, 10-0 Nebraska, 11 minutes to go, second quarter. Two middle guards in there for Nebraska. And Stockstill has the first down.
You've almost got to go for it. You're behind 10-0. You're not moving the football very well. You've got reasonable field position. You hate to go for fourth down and a yard this early in the game, but with the way their offense is moving, Jim, no choice.
Well, whether they get a score or not, Bud, this is about the longest that the Florida State defense has been off the field and on the bench.
Nebraska's got a great football tradition, as that last little graphic showed you.
I did those Orange Bowls in 71-72 when they won a couple of national championships. First down from the 37 of Nebraska. Stockstill. Looks, throws, slide pattern has a man there. Defender there, knocked away. Wide Day knocks the ball away from Jesse Hester. The non-scholarship player who can't even eat with the team because he's not on scholarship was with him all the way.
I think he had him beat by a step or two. The ball floated a little bit on Stockstill as we take another look at it. A little bit of an inside fake there to Williams. The defense does not take the bite, but you can see the ball hanging in the air. He had him beat there just for a step or two. McKinnon's got to slow down to wait for the ball. And Lydie, pardon me, it's Hester going for it, but Lydie did recover and make the play.
Second down 10. McKinnon wide to the right. And Johnson to the left. That is McKinnon in motion. Tailback Ricky Williams, and he gets to the 35. A gain of 2, and that's all. Brent Evans, playing for the injured Steve McWhirter, made the stop at the 35. And here comes another big play after the long first down gamble. Florida State finds itself third down and 8 and down by 10 points. Bill Weber, a freshman defensive end, checks in for Nebraska. His number is 87. Godowski is in at left tackle. Third down. Stockstill almost went down, now goes down. Danforth the first to get to it. Merrill put him down.
And once again, the blitz very effective. They failed to pick up the extra lineman who's moved in. As you can see, the quick shuffling there. The linebacker comes up onto the line of scrimmage. They're simply not able to adjust to it very well, and Dan Kroger, the linebacker, came home absolutely free.
Well, here's something to watch for, Bud. Here comes Ron Stark again, the All-American kicker. The line of scrimmage is on the 38 to kick the ball into the end zone, only gains 18 yards. Let's see if he can angle and get it out of bounds inside the 20, the 15, the 10, or the 5.
That's what he's thinking about.
Aiming right over this way. Coming toward the sideline. Does it take a bounce into the end zone? I do believe it will come out to the 20-yard line. That means it's only an 18-yard net kick. And that also means Nebraska gets the ball at its own 20. 9:07 to go, second quarter. Cornhuskers 10, Seminoles nothing. Quarterback in there. It's the sophomore people have been waiting to see, Turner Gill. For Nebraska, they say he could be the all-time best. Hands off. Oh, he keeps the football, and down he goes, and he faked me on that one, but not the man who dragged him down. Number 68, Lenny Shavers, a freshman out of DeLand, Florida, who is playing the middle guard. Shavers is 5'11", Bud. I know you know this. 245 pounds at 5'11", and can bench press more than 400 pounds. And he looked quick there to catch up to Turner Gill, who's awfully quick.
Turner Gill was drafted in the second round of the baseball draft in 1980 by the Chicago White Sox. It gives you an idea of his athletic ability, his reflexes.
Second man is Craig, who's got 81 yards. Craig has the line of scrimmage.
Craig is remarkably strong, Jim. Those holes are not that big. If the player's a little bit off balance, and if they're off balance, they simply can't stop him.
Now, holding is again called against Nebraska. Last time Nebraska had the football, after running up a rather easy 10-0 score, they were stopped by 2 penalties on the same series. And now here they are picking up a first down, but a 10-yard holding penalty. And this is the thing I'm sure that Tom Osborne and everybody in this Memorial Stadium does not want to see happen. After a quick start, the Huskers are being derailed by their own mistakes.
Absolutely. Florida State, though, has got to generate some kind of running attack. I don't think that you can throw the football when the defense knows you have to throw it, and that's the way this game's shaping up thus far.
Karlstrom and Hurley have come in on the offensive right side for Nebraska. That guard and tackle. Turner Gill with the football. He's very quick. Turns it inside. Gets to the 20-yard line. It'll be third down and about 9 to go. Ron Hester, who is also very quick, number 83. And there's that man again, Lenny Shavers, 68, in on the stop. Turner Gill is the man that Bud talked about. Drafted on the second round by the White Sox. And is what they like to say out here is a true sophomore, meaning he only played freshman ball last year. Even though he could eligible for the varsity, he played with the freshman team last year, which was unbeaten. Irving Fryer, another sophomore, comes in. He is another true sophomore at a wide receiver, number 27.
Nebraska has a number of red shirts, too, and being true sophomore is correct.
Third down and 10 to go, and Craig does not get the first down. Ken Rowe, number 38, in quickly to make the tackle.
And once again, the penalty prevented them from making the first down. They had made more than 10 yards in their 3 plays, but the 10-yard holding penalty made the first down impossible.
Brad Campbell in the kick, and freshman Cedric Jones goes deep, standing on his own 40-yard line. 10-0 to score Nebraska. But all of that in the first 11 and a half minutes. It looks like Florida State is coming, 11-man up for this junior college transfer. Now they drop a couple off.
They're coming anyway.
Do not get the block. Cedric Jones at the 42, going the wrong way. Cedric got to go the other way, and loses, goes from a 42 back to the 37. Excellent coverage downfield by Cornhuskers, and no way after that 39-yard kick for him to get back.
You can see the kicker getting ready to set Campbell. Here comes the pressure from the outside, and it just missed by about a foot or two. You go across from where the ball is going to kick, not at the man. If you go at the man, you may hit him. You get the penalty for roughing the kicker. You're not going to block the kick anyway. You've got to get about 1.5 yards in front of where the ball will be kicked to be able to block it.
6 minutes, 51 seconds to go in the half. Billy Allen back in at tailback, number 31. They're trying to get a running attack, and here's Allen. Handing off, and here comes McKinnon. McKinnon gets one block and then runs over his blocker and picks up about 9 yards. Rodney Lewis refused to be blocked out of the play, and ultimately McKinnon ran into his own blocker, but that's one of the best running plays they've had all day.
When you are trying to set up the sweep, the reverse is always good for you, and Nebraska is sliding to the right of the screen. Ball carrier did a great job of trying to fake him, McKinnon, but Nebraska had 2 men. They were in position. They refused to lose leverage on either side, and they made the tackle.
Ken Burnett is your fullback now, number 20. Billy Allen is still in tailback, 31. Second down, short yardage. Goes your fullback, Ken Burnett, the junior out of Brandon, Florida. He's got the first down out near midfield. Brent Evans made the tackle. McWhirter got hurt a week ago, and all of a sudden Brent Evans found out that he's a starting linebacker. Time has been called, and the time is called only to move the sticks. Only to move the sticks. First down. In comes Sam Childers, tight end. McKinnon drops out to the right. Williams to the left. This is the second time Florida State has had rather good field position. Gonna pass it. Stockstill. Set. Got a man out there. Caught and out of bounds goes Sam Childers, a tight end.
Waited just a little bit too long to throw the ball. Childers just did not have time enough to get both feet down and still be on the field of play. Take a look at the first running fake, then the second running fake to Allen. Stockstill sets, throws. It's a good ball on target. The tight end Childers makes the reception, but you can see clearly both feet out of bounds.
On a second down and 10. McKinnon wide to the right. Stockstill almost in a throwing situation now. 6 or 7 yards to go. Tony Felici and Brent Evans made the tackle. Clock moving on, 5.5 minutes to go in the half, a rather fast half. In that Nebraska has put the ball up only. Well, how many times, Bud, has Nebraska put the ball in the air? Mason, I'm trying to remember.
I think
three. Tried to put it up 3 times. Stockstill beginning to throw a lot more lately. Hester and McKinnon, the wide receivers now. All right. Third down play. Stockstill with time, has his man, and very close to the first down. That's McKinnon. And he could just have made it or just missed it. Tony Felici and Steve Damkroger made the tackle. They may have to measure this one. Flag down, though, back at the 45, and Florida State is moving back, so I don't think they'll have a measurement.
Very good job of picking up the blitz that time by Florida State, but get a little holding penalty along with it. That's going to nullify the game. It was very close to a first down. I'm sure that Florida State would have gone for the first down on 4th down, even though they had not made it. But the holding penalty nullifies the effort.
Well, again, I'll repeat ourselves, Bud. Almost an error-free first quarter, and since that time, there have been a number of penalties that have slowed down both Nebraska and Florida State. It's going to be third down and long yardage. The line of scrimmage is the 36-yard line. Make it the 35-yard line of Florida State. And they've got to get down to the 41-yard line of Nebraska for the first down. 24 yards they've got to go. Sending McKinnon out to the right and Phil Williams to the left.
And we probably get some kind of blitz this time from Nebraska. See if the young Florida State line can pick it up.
10-0 Nebraska. It out here to Billy Allen, across the 40, and steps out of bounds. Whoops, he's out of bounds. Billy, come back. The ball is at the 42. Well shy of the first down. Damkroger ran him out. There's a name we've said a lot today, Damkroger, playing that strong side linebacker spot.
Florida State has made only 37 yards rushing, and they got 12 of that on that deep reverse play, which is not what you call a normal offensive play. So the Nebraska ability to throttle the running attack to Florida State is forced into the air, and that limits their offense.
Irving Fryer and Alan Lydé go deep. Lydé's a man, when the ball was slightly hung in the air, prevented a Florida State touchdown. Stark, the All-American, look at this. Look at this. But remember, it's going into the end zone and will come out. So take 20 yards off that long, long kick. 4:37 left. First half, Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska, on a sunny, rather warm afternoon. The Cornhuskers are on top, 10-0 over Florida State. From the 20-yard line, first down, pitch back to his I-back. That is Craig, and look at the fine play made there by Gary Futch. Does that name sound familiar? Well, a year ago, with 12 seconds to go and the ball on the 3-yard line, Purowski, a linebacker, hit Jeff Quinn, the Nebraska quarterback. He fumbled, and Futch fell on the ball to stop Nebraska and preserve the upset for Florida State. There's our score as we're deep in the second quarter, 4:10 to go. Scott Woodard wide to the right. Turner Gill looks downfield, has his man. Big number 80, Jamie Williams, a tight end, first down. Gill simply, hey, what was he drafted for? Shortstop, catcher, or what? He got snub and fired that ball.
That was that double play ball that he threw there. Just a quick pivot, turn, hit the slant pattern, and had it right on target. Hester made a good move for the ball, almost got a hand on it, but the pass was too quick.
Todd Brown comes out wide right. First down at the 39-yard line, a 19-yard pickup. Lost the football. Still, it could be Florida State. Let's see who got it. If it goes out of bounds, it belongs to Nebraska. They're saying it's Florida State. If the ball had gone out of bounds, it could have belonged to Nebraska because the Nebraska man was there. Let's get a close-up look at what happened, Bud.
You just don't know how this kind of a fumble can occur. He makes a fake, he keeps the ball, and then he just drops it himself when he's getting ready to put it away. I think that's the kind of a mistake that Tom Onber's been concerned about. Everybody wanted Gill to play quarterback, but Tom said he's just not been quite consistent enough. He was trying to put the ball into the proper ball-carrying position and just let it get away from him.
James Harris recovered the fumble. We've mentioned his name quite a few times. At the 23-yard line. Florida State, Stockstill back looking for a quick one. Has a man down there and is batted away by number 2, Craig intended for Jesse Hester, and a flag went down. And they're moving the ball down. It'll be first and goal to go. That's Krejci. He is upset. They called it on him.
Man in motion coming across is McKinnon. Stockstill makes a late fake, sets, throws. Hester's not open at all on this play. See the defender going up after it. That's Lydave. Krejci came across, and he did move into him. You can see it much better from the end zone camera. Definitely pass interference.
Ricky Williams and Whiting in the backfield, but Stockstill holds onto the ball himself and gets a little bit closer. Brent Evans down at the bottom with Jeff Merrill, number 74. They've got 3 more cracks at it. Bobby Bowden knows that you go to halftime 10-7 is a lot different than 10-zip. And remember, in the first 11 and a half minutes, the Cornhuskers stacked up those 10 points and nothing since.
They had first down on the 1 in both of their first 2 games and failed to score. So Bobby's been really concerned, but no longer.
Ricky Williams, wide hole of the left side of the Cornhusker line. And Ricky Williams gets his first touchdown of the year.
That's an awfully cheap touchdown. You recover a fumble, you get a pass interference penalty in the end zone. And here's the quick toss. The hole opens up inside. Williams runs for daylight, of which there is plenty on this particular play.
Yes, it was a fumble. Yes, it was an interference call. But yes, the score, as Mike Rendina kicks the extra point, is 10-7. What's that old line, Bud? Don't tell me about the storms at sea. Just tell me if you brought the ship home safely. We've got 2:58 to go. Cornhuskers 10, and the Seminoles, it says on the board up there, 6. I thought I got...
No, he made it to 7.
That's what I thought.
They're just a little bit late. The reluctant Nebraska scorekeeper.
Okay, we got it. 10-7. I guess he's in a state of shock after that easy touchdown for Florida State.
This week against Iowa, Tom Osborne said that his defense didn't play that bad. The offense was the problem in the game. And this last time, the defense was the problem. And here you can see the touchdown opening up beautifully inside. Williams has got all the daylight in the world as he moves it into the end zone standing up.
Rozier and Steeles are back for the first kickoff of the day for Florida State. So we might tell you that the All-American high school player, first man ever to make the high school parade All-American as a kicker, Mike Rendina, will kick the ball off. Rendina kicks it back, and it goes out of the end zone. And with 2:58 to go.
And he is an All-American, Jim.
Let me tell you, we've talked about the quarterback situation so much. As you take a look at the scoring drive, only 2 plays. Remember the fumble recovery. But they put Turner Gill in there, and Tom Osborne, talking about me yesterday, were just, well, they like people to go here 5 years. They like that red shirt program. They don't want a man to have his confidence destroyed. But Turner Gill, who fumbled, is now no longer in there. It is Mason who has come back in. Well, the quarterback problem, if there is one, continues. Mason, it looked good to me. There's Mason with the football, pitching back, and down quickly goes Anthony Steeles, the flanker back, or the wing back, coming around on the reverse, and Eric Riley made the stop. A gain of 4 or 5, second down, clock continues to run, 2:40 left in the half. Gee, if you've been watching, and of course you have, with Bud and me, it looked as though that Nebraska was simply going to blow Florida State right out of Memorial Stadium, the first couple of drives they had. And here they are, up only by 3 points.
And they stopped themselves with penalties on their last possessions and then made the errors that gave the very cheap touchdown to Florida State.
That is Bates, the fullback, and the Florida State defense, perhaps buoyed by those 7 points on the board, led by Gary Futch, stop him. And it's third down and short. About 3 from the 27-yard line. They've got to get it to the 30.
You have a problem, Jim. You keep talking about errors, and that tends to make your team be uptight. Errors are going to happen, and you just got to accept that and then get on with it and play the game.
Third down. Nebraska's been awfully good on third down situations. Stopped themselves once. Here's Craig, and Craig's got the first down. Roger Craig out of Davenport, Iowa. I wonder how all those fellows felt last week when Iowa beat Nebraska. Fellows like Roger Craig and a few others who are from Iowa.
good picture of the Nebraska line take off. Number 68, Mandelko, pulling to lead the play, but the line came off. They conquered the line of scrimmage. That gave the distance Craig needed to move forward for the first down.
Anthony Steele's wide right. You wonder if Mason will put it up. He answered, he got it. Got all the time in the world and throws it out here and overthrows his man, Scott Woodard.
That kind of gives you gray hair as a coach. You've got absolutely perfect potential. The receiver is absolutely wide open. There's nobody pressing the quarterback, and he misses the pass by about 5 yards.
You understated the case when you said nobody's pressing the quarterback.
Let's take a look at it again. Mason makes a little bit of an inside running fake there. Sets, and look at the great pass protection he's got. He's got all day. The receiver comes across, and he is wide open, but the pass is not on target.
Second down and 10 to go. From the 31-yard line. 1:23 left. And there goes the tailback. Roger Craig. That should put him, he's got the first down. Hester is the lead tackler, but he is closing in on 100 yards. 103 yards. Already with 1:15 to go in the first half. And to 7 Nebraska.
Nebraska has only one timeout remaining, so they've got to make a big play if they're going to get it down in field goal range or score a touchdown with the clock now at 1:06.
Well, they can afford to gamble a little bit. They've got excellent field position. Interceptions could not hurt too much, so they can throw the ball around a little bit if they want. Irving Fiery is in, and Mason is back again. Outstanding. Oh! He loops the ball high in the air, and it's way out of bounds. Nobody touched Mason. The ball was intended for Todd Brown, but it must have slipped off his hand or something. Because it just went high in the air and out of bounds. And let's see if someone did touch him, because that was an unusual-looking pass.
I don't believe anybody did hit him, but I think his hand is wet and slippery from the hot day. He sets, and there's no pressure on him at all, and he tries to let it go, and obviously forced the pass a little bit. It slipped out of his hands, and he has yet to complete one. He's 0 of 3.
Second down and 10, 51 seconds left. Rozier's coming to tailback. He is flanked. He's got the football now. Hester's after him, and Rozier tried to cut inside around Hester and could not. Picked up a couple of yards. It's third down. And that keeps the clock running. 10 to 7. And Nebraska in no hurry to go at any kind of time at all.
They've got to do something about their passing attack, and Florida State's got to do something about their running attack between halves.
In the meantime, if you want to look at the statistics which we'll have at halftime, I'm sure there's a lot to choose. Everything in the balance of Nebraska, but the score, which is only 3 points in favor of Nebraska at the moment. Mason steps around. This will do him no good. Because the clock is running down. 5. Call time with 5 seconds left to move the sticks.
Great poise by the defensive secondary that time of Florida State. Mason had a lot of time. No one was open. He started to run, and when the quarterback starts to run, an inexperienced secondary will react up, and now he's got a chance to complete the pass for a touchdown. However, they stayed on their man and made him carry the football.
Well, they've called timeout with 5 seconds to go. There's the score. And remember that Bud and I will be picking a Vitalis player of the game. And it's going to be a little difficult to pick as of this moment. Next week, a bunch of football games. Bud and I are going to be out in Stanford or Palo Alto, California. Two of the greatest passers going, John Elway of Stanford and Art Schleister of Ohio State. But remember, Indiana will get Syracuse, and I'd love to see Joe Morris. He's broken all of the records of Jimmy Brown, Floyd Little, and Larry Zonka. That's another game. Florida's Gators, they're going to be in that Southeastern Conference before it's all over, I guarantee you. And Mississippi State was in it last year, ending Alabama's 28-game winning streak. And yet another, Miami, which takes on Houston this weekend, gets Texas next weekend. So we've got a bunch of games. Ohio State, Stanford, Indiana, Syracuse, Florida, Mississippi State, Miami, Texas, all next weekend here on ESPN. And I guess that next week's game out in Stanford is liable to take 2 hours and a half for the first half. Everybody be throwing the football.
They may complete some too, though. That keeps the clock running.
First down, time for a play, perhaps 2 if they throw. Mason back, time running down. Ball is knocked out of his head, picked up by a tackle, and down he goes as it ends. Carricker took it out of midair, and that close. Nebraska came to absolute disaster on the last play of the first half.
Again, Mason is back to throw. He gets a fairly good rush this time. First time he's been pressured at all. The ball is batted right there just as he goes up in the air to throw it. Character, you can see him go high. Fortunately, the Nebraska blockers were looking at the football, were able to make the tackle, or Character might have been able to take it in the end zone.
Doug Wilkening, the fullback who made the tackle, might be the hero of the game. That's the end of our first half. Nebraska out in front by only 3, 10-7 after grabbing a 10-0 lead. We'll be back with the second half in a few moments, but right now, stay tuned. Welcome back to colorful Lincoln, Nebraska Memorial Stadium, where it's halftime and the Cornhusker crowd enjoying the band, but a little subdued. For after all, after kicking off to Florida State, the Cornhuskers allowed the Seminoles a single first down, and Ron Stark kicked it away to the 16-yard line. But then Nebraska went to work, moved 94 yards, Bud, with Mason taking it in, and it looked like it was Nebraska all the way, and Mason looked like the quarterback that was going to be able to do it for him.
And Craig did a great job of carrying the football on the drive, too, but they didn't complete a single pass, and that leads to some omens, I think, as this game goes along. This is the culmination of the scoring drive, a double inside fake here. Mason decides to keep the football. Craig is on his outside waiting for the lateral, but there's so much daylight that he's able to take it in the end zone by himself.
That was in the first 8.5 minutes of the first quarter. A little bit later, they moved again, and this time a 24-yard field goal by Kevin Seifel made it 10-0, and Florida State was unable to do anything. But then the Cornhuskers began to make mistakes, penalties, 2-on-1 series, and then another one that prevented yet another first down. And you can say that it was cheap, but there was a fumble by Gill, was picked up by James Harris on the 23. There was a flag thrown in the end zone, and Williams did take it over, but it still counts. And Ricky Williams, when he did take it over, this may be the best thing that the Seminoles did all day. Big hole.
It's the only successful running play that they had, except for the first play that they had. It was wide open for him to take it in. You can't have a cheaper touchdown than that. Florida State made only 38 yards rushing in the entire first half. That was a 1-yard gain there, and of course that put them in the end zone. But when you get first down on the 1 after recovering a penalty on the 23, that's as cheap a score as you can get.
Well, around the country, as they take a look at this score and say, hey, it's 10-7 at halftime, they have no idea that it looks like Nebraska is very strong. But the longer you let Bobby Bowden's Seminoles hang around, the more dangerous they become. Remember last year, the upset 18-14? Who knows? Back to Lincoln in a moment. One of the finest tenor voices I know is that of Bud Wilkinson, who loves to sing Oklahoma. But the fellow that sang Oklahoma in the movie lives in Lincoln, Nebraska. And Gordon McRae, I will never get over that controversial bit of such a star in Oklahoma, and you've chosen Nebraska in which to live.
Well, Jim, it's a nice state, and I kind of sort of stuck in it. I married a girl from Nebraska, but I still love Oklahoma. I have divided sympathies, you know. The last time I was up here, I was going to be on television and with Keith Jackson, and I was all set to say hello to a lot of my friends, and they come up and took the camera out of the booth.
Well, you have luck with us. We don't have one in the booth, but we thank you for dropping by.
You enjoying the game?
Oh, yeah, love it. And let me tell you something. I saw Oklahoma again the other night. Boy, you were a different man then, my friend. So was I. And I saw the mountains in the background. I thought, mountains in Oklahoma? Then I understand you did it in Arizona.
That's right. Well, it's good to see you, gentlemen, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Gordon McRae, very much.
Always
Bud Wilkinson now, a great friend of and golfing partner, Gordon McRae. We'll take a look at our statistics for the day.
Very dominant by the University of Nebraska, as you can see. 205 net total yards against 86. Those 3 turnovers by Nebraska, very, very important with the score being 10-7 and the time of possession in Nebraska's favor. But Florida State's one of those teams that just hangs in there, scratches at you, and they're certainly still in the ball game, even though statistically they're not. The Cornhuskers have got to be able to get some passing going, and the Florida State team's got to get some rushing going.
I remember Chuck Dressen, late Charlie Dressen with Detroit and with Brooklyn, and he used to tell us, team, hang in there, and in late innings, I'll think of something. Bobby Bowden may be the same kind of coach. We don't know. It's 10-7. Nebraska leads. The second half kickoff to continue in a moment. But first, this pause from Memorial Stadium, Lincoln. Nebraska team comes back on the field. Florida State has not yet made its appearance. And Nebraska was beaten last week. So was Alabama beaten last week. So was Michigan beaten last week. Just in the early results of the day, Georgia, defending national champion, absolutely shut down. I don't know how many yards Herschel Walker got, but shut down, scoring only 3 points. But this is one of the wildest seasons that I can remember. And it's only 3 games old.
very hard to believe that anybody's going to shut Georgia out for only 3 points, and you've got to wonder how many times they turn it over, but also you've got to give Clemson great credit for a magnificent effort.
Well, they talk about the Valley of Death. Clemson, South Carolina has earned that reputation, as Bobby Bowden has earned the reputation of being an outstanding football coach. It is 10-7. We're about to start the second half, and Nebraska will repeat one more time, just looked outstanding for 11 and a half minutes. Since that time, Florida State has hung in there, gotten a couple of breaks. Nebraska has stopped itself, and it's a 3-point differential in the ballgame. Now, last year, in which Florida State was not even this close at the end of the half, last year, the second half went to Florida State, and they pulled the upset, 18-14. Now, that's the kind of letdown that Nebraska wants to guard against this year. And when you get a fellow by the name of Roger Craig gaining more than 104 yards, we'll maybe see him carry the ball even more.
The only problem Nebraska's got, Jim, they've made only 16 yards passing. They've attempted 5, they've completed 1, and had 1 intercepted. So even though the running attack has been awfully good, a resourceful team like Florida State will play very tough against the run and make them prove that they can throw the football this half.
An old cliche, and I think we use it nearly every week. The first series of the second half is vitally important to both teams. And Nebraska will get the football first. Anthony Steele and Mike Rozier are standing back on the goal line. And it will be kicking off, of course, the young freshman, Mike Radina. Now, Radina and Florida State will have the wind at their backs here in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Nebraska will have the wind at its back. Medina, Parade, high school All-America, first time a kicker has ever made their first team. Notre Dame wanted him, Penn State wanted him. He said Bobby Bowden is the reason why I went to Florida State. Medina to kick off, wind at his back. Ball will not make the end zone. That is Rozier with his foot on the end zone line. Back to the 15 and not quite to the 20-yard line. Maybe the 16 or 17.
Oh, that was great kick coverage, Jim. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men close on that ball.
Ball put down on the 16, Bud, and this is about the spot that Nebraska started its first drive back in the first quarter. On the 16, they went 84 yards. Nate Mason, in answer to your question, will be the quarterback. Number 8, Craig, 21, your I-back. Bates, 43, your fullback. Remember, your wide receivers will alternate. Anthony Steele is in there as the wingback. I-back is Craig, and again he gets good yardage. 7 or 8 yards before Ron Hester pulls him down. Those linebackers of Florida State play awfully deep as it is.
Very good snap here, as you can see by Remington. Watch how quickly he gets off the ball. Handles a nose man, had a little bit of use of hands there, which is not quite legal, but it moves so quickly it's awfully hard to see. And Craig again running with great power.
Put his hand on the back of the helmet of James Gilbert, just pushed him to the ground. Second down and 3 to go. Ball on the 23. Craig again. Boy, he's got some speed and good balance. Speed and balance. And he may have the first down.
You know that Florida State is trying everything to stop the run as we take a look at the replay again, and you can see the great balance Craig has got. Florida State will begin to have everybody shooting every single gap so there won't be much daylight. There's a good hit. Craig should go down, but he keeps one hand on the ground and not a knee on the ground and moves forward, and they're measuring for the first down.
Yarriker, Gilbert, and Futch are the interior line. First down, Nebraska. Horsey and McLean. And Dave Campbell is seeing a lot of action, and Campbell is in there now on what they call the ends or outside linebackers. Hester and Rowe, the linebackers, Clayton and Harris, the cornerbacks, and Larry Harris and Eric Browley, the safety. Todd Brown comes wide to the right. Straight ahead, there's the fullback Bill Bates, still on his feet, up from behind. Nebraska comes out rolling as they started the game, moving from their own 16 on each case. James Harris, the saving tackle.
The beginning to key now on the tailback a little bit too much, and the quick trap inside opens up absolutely cleanly. You can see the trap blocks there, and the missed tackle by the outside man. Bates is in the open field running. He cuts back. Looks like he might be able to take it all the way, but the pursuit finally gets to him.
Scott Woodard wide to the right. First down, ball on the 46-yard line of Florida State. 10-7 Nebraska, third quarter. Mason with the football, pitches it out, and Steele picks it up. And Steele is hauled down by Larry Harris, the sophomore strong safety. A running back last year had the speed to get to the sidelines and put Steele down, but the Cornhuskers come out with the same kind of crisp play execution they started the game with.
This is a very unusual play. The wingback is Steele, and it's an option to the wingback. You could see Mason being hit as he pitched the ball off, and Steele was able to turn the corner nicely.
Todd Brown in wide to the right. Ball at the 29-yard line. Florida State's defense being riddled again. Keying on this man with the ball here, Roger Craig, and he breaks a tackle and then is thrown down at the 24. A gain of 4. Ken Rowe put him down. Number 38, along with Harris. And that's Larry Harris, number 30.
Craig is 6'2", 216 pounds, which is big for a running back, and you can see that he uses the strength that he has. A tackler trying to reach him that's off balance simply doesn't have strength enough in his arms to make the play. You've got to get your shoulders across in front of a man with the strength of Craig.
Second down and 6 to go. Ball on the 25. Mason is hit down. Picked it up, but Jarvis Coursey, number 64, and Allendale Campbell, number 90, were right there. And no gain on the play. Third down.
Coursey did an excellent job of protecting for the pitch and then closing and making the tackle. And this, of course, the key play as Bobby Bowden thinks, can we stop them here?
Not thinking about Ohio State or Notre Dame or Pitt or LSU. They're the next 4 all away from home. He's got to play. Big play here, 3rd and 6. Will throw for it. Over the middle has his man, Jamie Williams. First down, 15-yard line. The linebackers who played deep, Hester and Rowe made the tackle. Williams, a junior out of Davenport, Iowa, makes the catch.
Somewhat unexpected play with 3rd and medium yardage. You can see Hester dropping back there. The ball is thrown quickly inside to the tight end, Williams. Hester recovers very well from his drop spot to get in on the tackle, but it's first down, Nebraska.
It is warm here. It has not been for weeks, but it is now in the low 80s. Gordon is wide to the right, but that is a tailback. Craig gets a couple of yards and then a very good hit. And it looked like Larry Harris, a strong safety, who came up and gave him that hit, number 30. And a man is down, and it looks like it is Hester who is down on the field. He is their best linebacker and one of their best defensive players. I'll check on his number, but it looks like 83. Nope. Now I see it is not 83. Instead, it is James Gilbert. And he is just as important. An excellent nose guard. In any event, 11:43 to go, third quarter. Cornhuskers driving and leading Florida State 10-7. Gilbert still on the ground. Lenny Shavers obviously will take over for him at the nose guard. We're beginning our 3rd year at ESPN and very excited about a brand new innovation starting the first weekend of October. And every Saturday and Sunday throughout October at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, we will have Sports Center Plus. And that means more than 4 hours of sports news reported as it happens. College, pro football, the baseball pennant race, hockey, basketball. We've got Randy Gordon to talk about boxing, Dick Vitale, buddy on basketball, Charles Candy on horse racing, Paul McGuire on pro football. Our hosts, George Grand, Bob Lee, Sharon Smith, all for our extravaganza, Sports Center Plus, the weekends in October on ESPN. Tom Osborne looking at his team with a second down from the 13-yard line. Doug Wilkening is the new fullback in there for Nebraska. Ball on the 13-yard line. That is Roger Craig, and he's dragged down. Allendale Campbell, and what a good-looking sophomore he is from Columbus, Ohio. 6'4", 235, number 90, made the stop. And it's 3rd down and 5.
I'm still very impressed, though, with Craig's ability to really turn on the power. He gets hit there very solidly by Campbell, but he still is able to wrestle his way forward and make a little bit of yardage.
All right, Bates has come back in. Rozier is the tailback, number 30. Craig Craig is not there. Mason remains as quarterback. Mason's got the football. Mason throws the football and overthrows his man. That is the second time, this on a different kind of pattern, but the second time that Mason has time to get the ball to an open man and has overthrown him twice. It was intended, of course, for number 33, Anthony Steele.
Very unfortunate throw. You've got the receiver open. A little bit difficult to throw on a run, but it's not that difficult to throw on a run. There he's a fake inside. Craig rolls it out. He's pressured a little bit, throws, and the receiver, as you can see, is wide open. Steals as the receiver.
27 yards out. It is no good. Seibel, who missed a 27-yarder last week, misses one this week. Could have tied the game last week. Could have put Nebraska up by 6 points this week. No good. And so Florida State will take over at their own 20-yard line. A great drive starting at the 16-yard line. Allendale Campbell had something to do with it. The missed pass by Mason on third down had a lot to do with it. And then Seibel missed the 27-yarder. So on the year, it is amazing, Bud. On the year, he is 1 for 4. Stockstill, Williams, and Whiting the backfield for Florida State. They get their hands on the football for the first time in this half. Stockstill hands to the fullback. And Whiting, the senior out of Largo, maybe got a yard and a half. Brent Evans, a weak side linebacker, submarined him there.
Push it back!
And the offensive line of Florida State simply cannot handle the Nebraska defense on running plays. First half, they were
13 times, probably, but I'm looking at that they have sold out here in Nebraska. That's why we call it a great crowd. That's an NCAA record. Second down and 9. Will Stockstill throw? Answer no. Whoop, the ball is thrown right to a man, and I think Stockstill got it for Florida State. The ball absolutely was thrown to Jimmy Williams. Went flipping forward, not intentionally, but Stockstill came back and got on the ball.
That's supposed to be the sprint out draw play where you shouldn't have any trouble handling the ball, and I think he's just tackled there as he handed the ball to him, and the fact that he was hit before he got possession of it. Stockstill very alertly, though, jumped on the fumble quickly to prevent the turnover deep in Florida State territory.
Well, a 1 for 1 at the end of the first half, remember. It looked as though a ball, well, it was intercepted in the Nebraska backfield by Florida State, but a tackle saved a touchdown against Nebraska. Now, Williams' inability to handle it gets it out of the hole for the moment. There's Williams, and that's all. He didn't get too far. Steve Damkover's over there, and so now the big foot of Ron Stark is very important with the wind at his back and an average of nearly 50 yards a punt. Here's where Stark is being called on to bail him out and push him back in Nebraska territory. Live day and, Fargo deep.
Question of how high he can kick the ball. We know he's going to kick it far. Can he kick it high enough that the recovery team will be able to be down there under it and prevent the run back?
He has hang times, and you and I timed a couple times today, of better than 5 seconds.
Well, I'll try to count this one.
Got the rush, got the long kick, and back goes Fryer inside his own 20. Good coverage by Florida State. But the man finds a hole up the middle, and look out, now Stark's the only one. He's going down there, and finally, he is not stopped. He's inside the 30. He will go all the way. Whoa, what a play by Fryer. A sophomore of Mount Holly, New Jersey. He's a 4 or 5 man. And Nebraska gets the big play on 82-yard return. Bobby Bowden did not want the big play.
It was a rather high punch in. The ball was up there about 5 seconds, but they did a good job of knocking the recovering men down. He had room to get started, reversed his field, and that young man's got a great future.
I tell you, I made the statement, Bud, that there was excellent coverage downfield, and there was, but the Nebraska men, as you just indicated, picked them up and picked them off one by one. Seibel in to add the extra point, and does. 17-7. That's the first time we've seen someone take one all the way back this year. And so, since we've seen it once, let's see it again. The young man is Irving Fryer, sophomore, Mount Holly, New Jersey, and here's the play.
And you can see the red shirts forming in front of him to try to set up the protection for him. He starts to the left of the screen, sets it up, and this is what a great ball carrier can do. Turn back. He picks up one nice block there that delayed him. Then there's another Cornhusker there. That was Stark tried to stop him. Stark did turn him in, but there's not enough pursuit, and there simply is not enough speed to catch fire as we get one more very fine block there by Sims.
And Fryer is in. Greg Allen is deep now. You saw Bobby Bowden before we started that replay saying, come on, guys, that's a big play. But we got a lot of time left. 23 and a half minutes left. 17-7 the score. And there's Greg Allen, and that's the first real big play of the day. Seidel to kick the ball off into the wind. It's things like that, though, that ignite teams defensively and offensively.
Well, Florida State better get their passing attack going.
There's Greg Allen. Whoops, he lost the football. Picked up, touchdown, Nebraska, number 46, Felici. Ball game may be over in two quick plays. Two quick plays. That's how you break a lot of hearts, and you build a lot of hearts. The hearts of Nebraska are swelling with pride and joy, and Florida State played a tough game, 10-7, then had an 82-yard punt return, and then on the kickoff, Greg Allen fumbled, and Tony Felici picked it out of midair, and here Seidel in to add another extra point. And just like that, in the space of seconds, it's 24-7, Nebraska.
This is something you just don't expect is going to happen. He could have kept into the end zone here. He caught it 1 yard in the end zone, but he decides interference can form for me. You can see the wedge setting itself up. He's hit so solidly, the ball goes right up in the air. Felici closing to help on the tackle. Rick gets the fumble in the air and takes it into the end zone. Let's take another look at it. The ball is caught nicely. The screen forms very well ahead of him. And watch the hit. Boom. And the ball is up in the air. Felici comes across. Didn't dream this would happen to him. It rarely does, but it's a different game now.
Well, either Greg Allen is shell-shocked or Bobby Bowden is shell-shocked because Mike Whiting is the man back now.
I think Osborne's shell-shocked too.
I want to tell you, he had a 10-7 ball game, missed a 27-yard field goal, and then his team picks up 2 touchdowns in 6 seconds, and the offense scored neither. Well, of such things, you get momentum. And Penn State is doing here next week. Florida State will have to show character now. Whiting almost didn't cover that ball. Have to show character now because they just can't let this thing run away from them. They got to play their game. There's still plenty of time. As I said after the return of Fryer, the Bowden saying, come on, we got 23 and a half minutes. Well, now we've got 23 minutes and 25 seconds left to play, except another touchdown has been scored.
It's a very difficult thing when your running attack doesn't balance your passing attack. Nebraska is able to control Florida State's rushing. They know they got to throw the ball, and when you can blitz, cover, double cover good receivers, it helps the defense because you know what to expect.
First down from the 20-yard line. Crowd is slowed for a little bit. Starks go back to throw, has a man wide open, and hits his man, number 81, Zeke Moat, the tight end, and he may have a first down, and does have a first down across the 30-yard line. Rodney Lewis and Brent Evans put him down. Stockstill, as we said, will be 25 in December. So he is, I don't want to call Rick a very old man, but an older collegiate football player. He's a 5-year man and got a chance now to show some maturity and leadership, but he's also got to get that arm uncranked and hope for some work along the ground by Whiting, Williams, Allen, Burnett, and company. First down at the 30. And there's Whiting, the fullback, struggling for a yard, and that's about all. Dan Kroger's down at the bottom. Brent Evans is there. And the middle guard, Jeff Merrill, we can see getting up along with Stroman. Well, who wasn't there? Most of the defensive team of Nebraska was around the ball carrier.
Their defensive linemen are able to just stop the forward charge of Florida State and then move the ball, and the running attack cannot get anything started.
Jesse Hester, the speedster, is wide to the right. They've gone to him in the end zone twice. Once it was knocked down, the other time it was interfered with. Stockstill has it. What a catch made by Phil Williams. Another first down. I mean, he was hit by Rodney Lewis as he caught the ball and held on. First down across the 45, and here comes Florida State.
A great catch here by Williams. He's well covered. Stockstill times the pass very well, lays it in there right past the linebacker in front of the safety man. Williams is hit very, very hard by Lewis, but he kept possession of the ball.
First down from the 46-yard line. Stockstill strictly with his arm now. In trouble now. Down now. Merrill the first to hit him. Toby Williams also in there. And Stromack. But credit Merrill, and the line of scrimmage, remember, was the 47-yard line, and now it's back inside the 35.
The sprint draw fake is supposed to freeze the lineman. Here's the fake. You can see Allen coming over the ball, but that didn't slow anybody up. And Merrill is right there. Big loss.
Out wide right goes Phil Williams, who made the good catch. Hester comes to the left. It is second down and 23 in this 24-7 game. Stockstill throws it out here, and Whiting is caught immediately. And Nebraska is beginning to shut things down. That is Dave Stromack, the senior out of Omaha, and Dave Ritter, the sophomore out of West Point. And I mean West Point, Nebraska, who made the stop.
They showed screen a little bit too soon. The tackle blocking. Olipetti just left his man too soon. He felt that there was a screen, moved on out, was right there to make the tackle.
Just moments ago, it was 10-7. Within the space of 6 seconds, a punt return of 82 yards, a fumble picked out of midair, and returned for a touchdown, and it's 24-7. Florida State now in a third down and 27 situation, or the Cornhuskers get it back. They're going to run Billy Allen out to the 40-yard line, where it is fourth down and 16 and a half to go, and Ron Stark, who kicked the ball away, only to have it return for a touchdown, comes in again.
Stark will make an effort to put this one out of bounds, Jim. He'll make a long kick, but he'll also be going for that coffin corner.
Irving Fryer is back deep with Lyday. Well, Penn State's an awfully good ball club, but they're going to have a tough time here next week. He angled it. What an impressive kick. Let's see if it goes into the end zone. It does. Now the line of scrimmage, that's nearly a 60-yard kick before it landed. Yeah, and that's from the line of scrimmage, not where he kicked it from.
He got a net 40.
5:03 to go, third quarter, warm afternoon, and the Huskers are heating up, looking for the first win of the year, 24-7 over Florida State. But I'll be back after this. Hands off to his I-back Roger Craig as they're back in action, and he picks up 7 yards before Ron Hester made the stop. Remember, James Gilbert limped off the field, and the middle guard is Lenny Shavers, the freshman out of DeLand, Florida. Craig, 130 yards as he goes. Looks like he went it and maybe pulled a muscle. Doesn't look serious, so Mike Rozier is in. And Rozier's got the football, and Rozier's got the first down up to the 34. And rolls the tackle, along with Hester.
The Nebraska offensive line is doing a great job of blocking. Florida State is not concerned about the pass play. They're trying to maintain their position on the line and move across in front of the ball, but the Nebraska offense is getting off on the count so well that they're controlling the line of scrimmage and making it easy to run.
First down from the 34. Nate Mason may have won a job, but the passing attack isn't too good. Phil Bates, the fullback, dragged down from behind by Alfonso Chuck Carricker. Now the first down, Nebraska out there midfield. And another Florida State man down back at the 43-yard line. Time has been called as they go out to work on this man.
The Nebraska line is simply physically dominant here, as you can see. This is just a quick inside trap. Ball handed off to Bates. You can see him moving everybody down, just knocking the Florida State down, and the defensive line just is unable, as we take a look at him, to stand off the power and the drive as the trap man moves through in front of Bates, knocks the linebacker right flat on his back. The flanker man knocks the safety man down. Just excellent blocking.
Scott McLean looks like out of Claremont. Or is it Larry Harris? It's a zero. It's Larry Harris who is down being helped up. The sophomore out of Gainesville. Looks like he had the wind knocked out of him. Bobby Bowden has won 23 of his last 26 ball games with the Florida State Seminoles, but today may be one of the rare losses for Bobby Bowden, with Ohio State up next in 2 weeks.
Well, they were hanging in there very well until the punt return and then the fumble on the kickoff.
Absolute blitzkrieg. First down from midfield. Mason. First down across the 40, inside the 40, and knocked out of bounds there by James Harris. Along with Terry Ashley, a freshman out of Eastern Georgia, who just replaced the injured Larry Harris.
Again, the option play here. Bates fakes inside and then blocks the linebacker nicely. Mason keeps the ball. Rozier is out there trying to get ready for the lateral. The ball is fumbled by Mason, but goes out of bounds.
24-7, 3:44 to go, third quarter. Anthony Steele comes wide right. Larry Harris has come back in as a strong safety. Quick pitch back, and that is Rozier, and he's inside the 35-yard line. Ken Rowe led the tackles, along with Jovis Corsi. Well, Florida State, you got to start looking for things to say. They're not the same team they were last year when they went on to the Orange Bowl and lost to Oklahoma 18-17. They lost a lot of folks, but in this ball game, they've not yet lost their poise, despite those 2 touchdowns in 6 seconds. What they're looking for is better offensive line play and a better running attack. Roger Craig has come back in as the I formation, already well over 100 yards. Flags down, could be too much time. Oh, legal procedure call. So it'll be second down and about 10 to go. Ron Hester checks back in for Florida State.
Missouri, 29.
Those are the kind of little mistakes that gnaw at you. Even though you've got a comfortable lead, you just hate to see them happen.
Nebraska upset last week. Georgia already one of the upsets as we speak to you now. This week, defending national champions, Rozier comes back in. Craig is out. Rozier has gained 49 yards. Mason, the quarterback, 53, and Craig, the I-back, 129. 300 yards. They've stacked up. Here's Mason keeping the ball again, has a clear shot. Now going to run it, and is going to get out of the hands of Corsi, but out of bounds. On the 22-yard line. That's the first down. Jarvis Corsi, the senior out of Gray, Georgia, had a hand on Mason, but couldn't haul him in.
You're wondering about how fast is Mason, and this play you think he's got the makings of a good quarterback. Little bootleg, he's outside of the contained man. Corsi chases him here. A quarterback's not supposed to be able to run that well or that fast, and Mason simply goes right past him and then steps out of bounds.
You know, when you think of Joe Paterno on Penn State, which is a rugged ball club, look at the rushing difference there. He's going to say, hey, Nebraska runs the ball very well. But the passing game, well, why don't we concentrate on the run?
And believe me, they will.
I bet they will. It's going to be tough. Time is called. 2:50 to go, third quarter, and Nebraska leads Florida State in a revengeful mood after last year's loss by the score of 24-7. Well, you can pick in the Vitalis player of the game, Roger Craig, more than 100 yards, but really the spark came when Fryer returned the ball 82 yards. So we'll hold back. We'll let you know before the end of the game who the player of the game is for Vitalis in a moment. Let's see. First down, 23-yard line, Nebraska. They have, in the first and third quarters, they have looked rather awesome. Second quarter, they did not play that well, stopped themselves with mistakes, and the fourth quarter is yet to come.
They've got to be able to throw the football better, though, Jim, to beat a well-balanced football team.
Sure. His passing statistics are rather depressing for Nebraska, even though the scoreboard for this game is rather good. That is Craig adding to his yardage total.
Carried by Roger Craig.
And Larry Harris up on top. Tackle down at the bottom was by James Gilbert, who after being helped off the field is back in at middle guard, number 51. Outstanding. And look at that, time of possession is not that much difference. It's those 6 seconds that hurt him.
Absolutely.
That's those minutes, those seconds.
Fast as you can score.
Todd Brown, wide left. Steals, flanker right. Second down, 6 to go. These are the things that Tom Osborne, I'm sure, is going to sit in there and say, hey, fellas, come on, when he looks at the films.
You just can't let those little things happen to you. Backfield motion procedure penalty and then a delay of the game penalty, and you're moving the ball almost at will, but you can't give away those cheap yards against anybody.
Steals wide to the left, Woodard to the right. This makes it second down and 11. Ball back at the 23-yard line. Mason. Hester makes the play, but Mason gets away and finally goes down. Almost in the arms of his own teammate. Dan Hurley, a senior tackle, was ahead of him. Mason broke the tackle, but Hurley was in front of him, and they both went down.
Really kind of a funny play. Mason appeared to be stopped. Hurley is coming across to get in front of him to make a play. As we see Mason cut up field, he checks off the block of the Seminole and then runs right into his own man.
Third down, long yardage. About 7 from the 19-yard line. A lot of time left in this game. Mason back. Mason throws. Catch made. Shy of the first down, I believe. Jamie Williams, the tight end, made the stop, but James Harris, number 33, did a good job of holding him short.
Let's take a look at it. The inside fake. Mason sets, throws. The crossing man is wide open. He hits him this time. And we get a very solid play by Harris making the tackle.
Fourth down. A yard to go. Nebraska's going to go for it. And thus far, a yard has not been much of a problem for them. Less than a minute to go, third quarter. Roger Craig, he's got the over the mark. Down to the 10 with a good dive. First down.
The typical goal line defense used that time by Florida State. Everybody low, everybody penetrating their gap. Craig sees that and goes over the top. You can see how low all of the Florida State people were. Craig is a fine running back.
I believe that they could pick up a first down without scoring. The ball is just this side of the 10 as they send Todd Brown out to the left. Nebraska wanting to really put away Florida State. Fields in motion. Mason with the football. Mason pitches it out. Craig lost the football, and I think he got it back. Harris was there. Roger Craig took quite a hit.
It's the option play. See the man in motion comes across. The inside fake by the fullback. Mason pitches the ball out. Harris comes up. He was in great shape. Hit Craig solidly. Craig's able to get back on the ball.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Beaten last week by Iowa, beaten a year ago on the same field by Florida State. The Huskers with a blitz of 2 touchdowns in 6 seconds by their specialty team and defensive unit lead 24-7 with 15 minutes to play. They moved the ball down to the other end of the field, and there was an injury, as we said, as the third quarter ended, and that man has since left the field, holding his hand. And so we're ready to begin again as Nebraska, after Craig picks up the first down, and Craig then dropped the ball but got it back again, and Nebraska's just driving to put this game out of sight.
Nebraska's really been a very impressive team physically. They just dominated Florida State, but if I were Tom Osborne, I'd be a little bit concerned about their sort of mental errors. They've had 7 penalties already for 62 yards. They've turned the ball over 3 times, and even though you're physically dominant, you get in the game with somebody that's as good as you are, and you make those kind of mistakes, and they'll beat you.
Bates and Craig, the running backs, as we begin the fourth quarter. Second down, 8 to go. The ball at the 8.5-yard line. And that is Bates, the fullback, and Bates gets a couple of yards, still on his feet inside the 5. Boy, that was an outstanding run by Bates. That's power.
Craig and Bates are a great 1-2 punch. Neither one of them are in any way be able to brought down by one man unless he's in perfect position. And normally you've got enough of a defensive man to have him a little bit off balance as he moves into the area to make the tackle. And if they're a little off balance, those two people can run right over.
Third down. Mason does not pitch the ball out. He gave you the motion, but that was not the thing to do, and he held onto the ball, and Rowe made the stop. Now it's fourth down. And Florida State hopes to escape with only 3 points. They'd rather have none, but they're down by 17 already with 14 minutes left to play. And now Eddie Neal is coming in. How about this? They're not using Kevin Seibel from this 11-yard line. 21-yard field goal by Seibel, or by the little youngster Neal, and he's got it. We have seen people drop the ball to be replaced by someone else. We've seen people throw the ball away to be replaced by someone else. And now we've seen a kicker who was an outstanding kicker a year ago miss a 27-yarder and be replaced the next time around.
He missed one last week, though, also.
Would have tied the game.
Give him so many shots, and then you got to try somebody else and see if he can do it a little bit better.
27-7. Capacity crowd, 113th consecutive time. And now Seibel is coming out to kick off. Neal was ready to kick off, but they said, nope, Kevin can kick it off. Greg Allen, the last time he was in the ball game, the ball was kicked off to him after the 82-yard return by Irving Fryer for a touchdown. He got up to about the 10 or 15. Took a big hit. Ball went right into the hands of Tony Felici, who took it in for the second touchdown within those 6 seconds. So Greg Allen is back again. Allen is going to keep it in the end zone. Told to do so by Mike Whiting. Comes out to the 20-yard line.
The fumble on the kickoff, I guess, makes everybody a little bit gun-shy about trying to run it out, but it shouldn't. If you got room to run, you got to attack.
It's called an offensive play. Now look at this. Third down conversions. Florida State doesn't have any. Nebraska's done 50%.
Florida State's made only 105 yards thus far. Nebraska has made 363. Florida State's made only 37 yards rushing, which is why their offense doesn't go.
Billy Allen, the tailback, and Stockstill is back to throw. Throws out here, has a man, and the catch is made by Phil Williams. And by the way, the left cornerback now is Rick Lindquist, the senior, who has been hurt, and Day has been starting over him. But with the game now 27-7, Lindquist is given some action. He's had a leg problem, and he'll need some action because Penn State moves in here next week. Long gain from the 20 to the 44. Stockstill decides to run. He's not a fast man, and down he goes with Jimmy Williams on top of him. One half of the Williams brothers out of Washington, D.C. Ball is put down at the 48-yard line. Second down and 7 to go. Clock continues to run. The crowd has been sunbathed this afternoon in a very quick ball game. Quick because, well, most of the time Nebraska's been running the ball, and most of the time Nebraska's had the ball.
Nebraska's had the ball through the first 3 quarters, 26 minutes and 55 seconds. Florida State only 18 minutes 59.
Stockstill back to throw, has a man out there, and it's complete to number 84, Childers, the tight end. First down, 41-yard line. And Jimmy Williams again in on the play, peeling off from his end position. Oh, the Seminoles begin to move the football.
Childers, the tight end, man for man this time. You can see Williams going with him. He got a step or two as Williams went through the traffic, and then Williams has got speed enough to run the tight end down.
Jesse Hester, the freshman from Belgrade, Florida, has come in, number 4 to the right, Dennis McKinnon to the left. Stockstill throwing on every down, looking down for Hester, and it is almost intercepted by Jeff Krejci, who was called for interference in the end zone back in the first half.
Had the running fake, but Nebraska just absolutely ignored the running fake. No one pulled out of position at all. The ball is thrown deep downfield, and Nebraska has 3 men that could make the interception. They're all around the ball there. No chance whatsoever for the completion.
Jeff Krejci is one of the many walk-ons that Nebraska has. They have quite a walk-on program here, not drafted after playing Class B football. Stockstill back on second down 10, moves up, now has to run with the football, and that is my day that knocks him down as he gets down inside the 35-yard line, and maybe they mark it right at the 35-yard line, where it'll be third down and short yardage to go. Clock continues to run. This is not a day for Stockstill and Florida State Seminoles. They were in it despite being outmanned and outgunned 10-7, and we'll repeat again before the punt return and the fumble picked out of midair. But since then, the Cornhuskers have dominated play. True, they've only come up with a field goal, but they have dominated the play. Moved the football very well.
Florida State could get one here, Jim. Get a break or two. Something could happen.
Oh, yeah. Not over yet. Third down, 3.5 to go. Stockstill needs the time. As his man caught Hester. First down, 21-yard line. Now they say no. He hit the ground without the ball. Incomplete. Fourth down. And I would imagine that Stockstill will stay in the field.
Good play by both sides on this one. Stockstill sets, delivers the ball, gets a very good rush, but he is protected well enough. The pass is fairly well on target. Before the receiver can put it away, the Nebraska defender has stripped him of the ball.
Fourth down and about 3 to go, and of course they're going to go for it. Now time has been called, and Florida State will take time out. Figure this out. Fourth down and about 3.5 to go. They're going to keep the ball, and we're going to come back in a moment. 11:35 to go in the game. Nebraska looking for its first win of the year, 27. Florida State facing its first loss of the year, 7. Simpson, Bud Wilkinson. I'm still out on the field. The ball at the 35-yard line, and Rick Stockstill is over talking to his coach. Bobby Bowden now has the word. 16 out of the last 18 years, and you should have heard what some, very few, were saying about Nebraska and Tom Osborne after losing to Iowa. I can't believe it.
Once you get them spoiled, it's hard to keep them looking at it normally.
I think someone years ago say, how are you going to keep them down on the farm after they've seen Ferry? How are you going to get used to a loss or two after they've been to 16 bowls in 18 years? Fourth down, remember, 3.5 to go. At the 35 of Nebraska, Stockstill will throw. Stockstill has his man, throws, and he's got the first down. Sam Childers, the tight end again. Went down, simply turned around, and Stockstill put the ball right on the money at the 24-yard line. Jeff Krejci made the tackle there.
Zone defense instead of man for man that time. He just slipped into the seam and was wide open. Take a look at it again. Stockstill gets good protection. You can see the people trying to move to the ball. Childers, however, is in the seam and open.
Stockstill back, looks, has a man open, and he's got the football, and that is Dennis McKinnon. Looks like another first down inside the 15-yard line at about the 12-yard line. And remember, 11 minutes to go in the ball game. Make it 27-14, and, well, they're within shouting distance.
It's a good picture here of Stockstill running the pattern. He down the field, loosened up the corner man, made the outside break. It was wide open. Coverage was quite well, but the Bay could not get in front of the ball.
Bill Williams wide left, McKinnon to the right. First down. There's Billy Allen and dragged down. Brent Evans. Number 48. Well, we made a crack or an observation a short while ago that Joe Paterno and Penn State might come in here thinking play the run of Nebraska.
He will.
How about Ohio State, which in 2 weeks gets Florida State? They might be saying play the pass and forget the run.
Well, Florida State's running attack will improve. They are playing against one of the better defensive lines and linebackers in the country.
Second down, 11. Stockstill looks as a man. He reaches up and drags it in. That is Childers again inside the 5-yard line. It'll be third and short.
Childers ran that pattern extremely well. He was hit hard leaving the line of scrimmage. He almost lost his balance. He fought back on balance, moved against the grain, and Stockstill is throwing the ball very accurately.
Very accurately. Mowat comes back in. Childers out. They are the messenger bringers. Sometimes it's between Johnson and McKinnon as messenger bringers. Johnson is in, wide left. McKinnon is to the right side. Tailback, that is Allen. I don't think he got it.
Awfully close.
Almost looked like Billy was slowing down as he got to the point of impact there and could not bowl anybody over and was pushed back.
There were people coming from every direction. He didn't see any kind of daylight.
Ricky Williams replaces him.
The ball carrier has a pretty good shot here as he starts forward, but you can see the red shirts coming from both outside angles and also the inside angle, and that's how much yardage we have to go.
Not much.
Nebraska crowd sounds like this is for the national championships.
27-7. Well, they've had 7 tough days living off that Iowa upset. And they remember this upset here last year. First man, Whiting's got the first down. Mike Whiting makes it first and goal to go.
Good call that time. They had both guards in the gaps, thinking that perhaps Stockstill would go with the quarterback sneak. See those 2 men on either side of the center? And got a good wipeout block that time by Voltapelli, which just opened it up enough. Not much daylight, but I think enough as we're getting the measurement for the first down.
Well, I didn't think there was much problem there. I thought he had it by plenty. He's got at least by the length of the football and more. Maybe Nebraska wanted to slow things down a little bit, said, hey, I want to measure.
They wanted to prove it to the Nebraska fans. They didn't believe they could make it.
Johnson again to the left, McKinnon again to the right. Stockstill cannot hear, so the fans pick it up.
This is what you call fan support.
Williams, nowhere to go. Flag down. Flag down as Williams went down at about the 3. Offside charge against Nebraska on the play, so that'll move it another yard closer to the goal line. The only Florida State touchdown other than this one, Harris recovered a fumble of Turner Gill, the quarterback at the 23. There was a penalty in the end zone for pass interference, and Ricky Williams took it in. That has been the Florida State scoring offense thus far.
They've earned it this time, though, Jim. If they get it, they started in their own 20.
Stockstill tries to outrun Felici and does not. Tony Felici, the junior out of Omaha, is having an outstanding defensive game. Has also scored a touchdown. Loss all the way back to the 5.
Stockstill is a fine passer and a good athlete, but he's not what you'd call the fastest man. A bootleg, just a foot race now, and when you're carrying the football and you're not the fastest man in the world, it's hard to outrun somebody who doesn't have the football. Felici made the tackle.
Felici is 6'2", 197. He is not billed like a defensive end. Pretty good size for a college linebacker, and he has speed. And straight ahead goes Mike Whiting. Going to be third down and goal to go from the 3. 9 minutes to go in this 27-7 game. Brent Evans made the tackle there.
I'm just amazed at the fan support here. They really are encouraging the Huskers, who've got a 27-7 lead.
not let Florida State score, even though obviously Nebraska is in great control of the game, but the crowd is just on top of it.
Well, yesterday they had a freshman game here, and they had a couple of thousand here at 1:30 in the afternoon to watch them play a junior college team. Football in Nebraska, it is a happening. Stockstill looking, throwing, and the man fell down. Childers was there, went to go for it, and fell down.
Stockstill made a good move. Inside fake. He wasn't supposed to run. He did run and give himself more time. The receiver, Childers, I think, was going to be open downfield. There's a little fake. Stockstill sets. He's not open yet. Stockstill runs. He looks downfield again. Then he throws the ball, and he had it on target, but you can see the receiver is on the ground there, and he's feeling very bad because he tripped and fell just in the right corner of the screen.
4th down and goal to go from a 3-yard line for Florida State, looking to earn a touchdown against Nebraska. Stockstill, look, in trouble, has a man open, touchdown, and that is McKinnon. On 4th and 3. 8:22 to go.
Very fine execution here. There's the fake of the draw play. Stockstill has time to wait. He's got to move a little bit, though. He gets outside of the perimeter, throws. McKinnon, who has had a lot of time to change his pattern downfield, is wide open for the score.
All right, Mike Rendina, the freshman, in to try the extra point. And that is the extra point. And this one they earn. With 8:22 left. An 80-yard drive, 16 plays, but it took 5.5 minutes off the clock. And the score now is Nebraska 27 and Florida State 14. I think one thing was proven by Wilkinson, Rick Stockstill, and we said that he's 24 years old, shows a great deal of poise on this 4th down play.
The pattern is absolutely beyond what the timing was supposed to be. Slow. He's supposed to throw now. He can't throw. He's got to run. He does get outside, and with the extra time, McKinnon was able to break his pattern and come across the field and get himself wide open. But a beautiful read by Stockstill.
Well, you wonder with 8:22 to go whether or not they will try something like an onside kick with a freshman kicker, but they've got a lot of backs in there and linebackers, not too many big men in there on the receiving team for Nebraska. They think it could happen. But remember, Rendina is a freshman, and you don't know whether or not he is ready to do something like that. That is Craig taking the ball and stepping out of bounds on the 6-yard line. Wow.
Forgot where he was on the field to play. All he had to do was just let the ball go. It would have gone out of bounds and been kicked again.
But instead, he caught the ball and stepped out on the 6. It's another one of those mistakes, Bud.
Well, he's forgotten where he is on the field. You've got to have your eye on the ball. If you take your eye off the ball to see where the sideline is, you might fumble it. But, again, he could have made a better read than that.
Mark Maurer, the senior who started at quarterback last week, is in there now with a game in hand for Nebraska, but they're running out of there and need some time off the clock. Maurer hands off to his tailback. There's his Craig across the 20-yard line. Foot race now. Craig with Clayton after him. Clayton misses him, and touchdown. 96 yards. Make it 94. Bobby Bowden didn't want the big play. There have been 3 of them for the last 3 Nebraska touchdowns.
That's what happens to you when you're trying to keep them for no gain. You penetrate hard. When you penetrate hard, there's not very much left in the way of pursuit.
All right, how much over 200 yards is Roger Craig? 94 yards there. He was well over 100 yards to begin with. He's got to be close to 250.
I think he's way up there, and we'll get a note here in a second, but he's got great speed. I didn't realize he was that fast, Jim. He has been so strong, and when he got out in the open, no one could catch him.
234 yards rushing for Craig as Seibel is in to add the extra point. 34-14. Look at this.
There's the lead by the fullback Bates. There's the daylight. Everybody was coming across trying to stop him for no gain. He ran right past the safety man, and when the foot race began, even though this man is 216 pounds and 6'2", he outruns everybody on the Florida State team for the 94-yard touchdown run.
Cornerbacks James Harris and Harvey Clayton tried but could not catch him.
Another look there. It was a trap. You could see the pulling guard. Craig simply jukes the safety man right here, and that's the kind of thing you can't afford to do if you're a safety man. You got to at least slow him up a little bit. When he breaks into the daylight, he lengthens his stride, trying to get somebody to come across there. Harris can't quite get to him, and Clayton can't quite get to him, and now it is all the way and into the end zone. And this young man is having a great afternoon. 20 carries, 234 yards.
He's averaging better than 10 yards per carry. I wonder who the Vitalis player of the game will be. I don't know. We'll tell him in a little while.
Well, Florida State may rally, and you'd have to consider Stockstill.
34-14, 8:08 to go. Kevin Seibel to kick off, and Greg Allen is deep. Well, this is the road that takes him to Nebraska, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, and LSU. And it's a rocky start for Bobby Bowden and the Florida Seminoles. And they had the misfortune of catching not only a good Nebraska team, but on a week in which they've suffered and practiced well after the upset loss to Iowa last week. The same as Notre Dame going into the buzzsaw of Michigan after a loss of last week. The same as Wisconsin going into the buzzsaw of
UCLA
after winning last week. It's tough.
It's tough to be ready every time you go out.
And it's an early season we're in. Ken Burnett is your fullback. Stockstill, I'd imagine, has to throw to try to get him back here again. Been throwing very well, does throw, and that could be very close to interference on Hester there. The play made by Sammy Sims, the monster man, whose number we've not called too often today.
I think the official made a good decision, Jim. The pass was not going to be caught anyway, and it was very marginal. And when it's marginal and there was no way the ball would be completed, it should not be called.
Sims great against the run, and that's why they like to play him at monster, but there's not been too much running today by Florida State. So we haven't called his number too many times. Van Norman has replaced it. Second down, 10 to go. Stockstill back again to throw. Drills it, and has his man Childers again. Across the 30-yard line, that should be enough for the first down. Brent Evans there with Damco, good recovery.
And once again, Childers found the seam in the zone defense. Everybody in Nebraska's secondary dropping back, covering their zone, and when you're in those zones, if you can find the seam between the men and then deliver the ball with some speed on it, it's hard for the zone men to move quickly enough to block the pass.
That run of 94 yards by Roger Craig ties the longest touchdown run in Nebraska history. And they've been playing football a long time. There's Burnett, the fullback, catching the pass from Stockstill, and there's Brent Evans to run him down. And remember, Evans is not the man that normally plays that weak side over there. Steve McWhorter is the fine linebacker over there, and Evans has been called on because of McWhorter's strained knee to fill in for him, and he's had an outstanding game. Gain of a couple, let's make it 3, second down and 7. Clock running, nearly 7 minutes left. What do you think? Of all the years that Nebraska has played football and they never had a run longer than 94 yards, I realize that's a long run. But
it's a very long run.
You'd think in 100 or more years or whatever it is that they've been playing, that somebody took one in the end zone and went. Here's Burnett running the football and not very far. The third down and a yard to go from the 40-yard line. And every time they run the ball, and they got to do some running so that Stockstill doesn't get killed back there.
I admire the way Florida State keeps coming after him, though. They've had 3 big plays, Jim, against him in this half. There were 3 touchdowns that were the punt return that was a long gainer, then the kickoff that was caught in the air and a touchdown, and then that last 94-yard run. Yet Florida State hadn't given up at all. They keep coming right after you.
That's the poise I'm talking about. And here comes Ricky Williams. Oh, what a hit. And remember, this is just the first stride along their way of this road. So they just can't let a game discourage them. They got to think of Ohio State. Then they got to think about Notre Dame. And then they got to think about Pittsburgh. And then they got to think about LSU. So they can't get discouraged now just taking the first step along the way. They'll measure. See whether or not it's a first down. 6:11 to go. Bill Weber, freshman, out of right here in Lincoln, is the man who made the stop. And he made it
make it. But of course, they're going to have to go for it, down as they are by 20 points. You think that they've lost only 3 home openers since 1960. Well, remember, Michigan had not lost on the road in 100 years until last week.
First game.
First game. And there is a quick opener to White, the fullback.
It's a big
Tony
play.
Felici made the stop.
Big play for Florida State's confidence. When you can make it 4th down, short yardage, and you keep doing it as they have, it'll do something for their morale as the season goes along. As we take a look at it again, simply the quick trap play up the middle to Whiting, and not a lot of room there, but very determined ball carry and good effort by the blockers. First down.
Ball is on the 43-yard line of Florida State. Time running down. Stockstill back. Stockstill throwing, has a man, and I don't know if they're going to call it good or not. They do. And Bill Williams made the catch before going out of bounds. Alan Lydie was there to knock him out. First down inside the 40 to 36.
I keep waiting for Nebraska to go ahead and put the blitz on, but they're looking at the scoreboard and saying, let's not give them anything cheap. There's the delayed running fake to the draw play. 4 men rushing, 8 men covering downfield. The pass complete to Williams right on the sidelines.
Kinnan caught a touchdown pass is wide left. Stockstill looks. Stockstill is in trouble. Stockstill is down. That is Dan Kroger. Steve Dan Kroger, the junior from here in Lincoln, that made the stop. Now Stockstill, who has lost his shoe for the moment. Brother Marty was a fullback here, as we told you, other members of the family have been associated with Nebraska football, which is a proud tradition when you get out to the Midwest. And I tell you, as much as they want to beat Florida State and Penn State next week and Auburn the next week, Tom Osborne and company know that Oklahoma has beaten Osborne 8 times in 9 tries. And Oklahoma's got another pretty fair football team this week, as we'll see on our ESPN coverage later. Second down, 17 to go. Stockstill is coming again. Puts the ball off, and flag is thrown. Childers was there. Felici had his arms around him.
Crowd didn't like it, but it was a good call.
Felici's made some big plays, but that's a big play, but the wrong time.
Take a look at it again. Stockstill running for his life, throws the ball, and you can see Felici coming across there and getting his hand on the man before the ball was there. Definitely pass interference.
That is the first down inside the 35-yard line. 34 to 14. Nebraska. McKinnon wide to the left. Now Penn State is going to have work cut out next week, but so is Nebraska going to have its work cut out next week. Up a bruising ball club. Stockstill. Time now, looks now, picks off now. Coming back, number 38, Chris Van Norman, who was replacing Sammy Sims, the Monster Man. Norman playing good pass defense. Bolda Petty ran him down, and the ball belongs to Nebraska, as does the ball game belong to Nebraska.
Stockstill again making the running fake here, hoping to freeze the defense, but they're simply playing pass. He didn't see Van Norman. He was just sitting in that vacant zone there. He tried to get the ball over him, but not seeing him, he didn't have quite enough on it. Clean interception. Van Norman then knocked out of bounds. Tackle being made by Godapelli.
Rick only had 8 interceptions all last year, 5 thus far this year. And this is just the third game. An offensive line does make a difference. And there, running around the side is Rozier. And Rozier gets across the 50. Put it in the eye back you want. They've been able to run. Harvey Clayton runs him down. 234 yards apparently is going to be the total for Roger Craig.
The thing that happens to you, as I tried to mention, you watch the Seminoles all trying to get some penetration because they've got to try to get to the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage. But when you're trying to shoot all of those gaps, you don't have any pursuit. And when the ball carrier does happen to turn the corner, he's going to pick up good yardage.
First down, Florida State 46. Now hands the ball off to Wilkening. something else that must be decided by Tom Osborne, or certainly pondered again. Maurer, who started last week and benched for the start of this game, is now playing. Mason played, and the junior ran very well, but didn't pass one at all. Turner Gill played, looked flashy, but made a big mistake. A fumble that led to the first Florida State touchdown. So what do? I guess Tom Osborne is still thinking.
You play Penn State to find out who can throw the football.
Dennis Reagan, number 42, a sophomore, fullback, carried the ball, and Tommy Young, a reserve linebacker, made the stop. As Tom Osborne now begins to go deep. Rushing Florida State, 49 yards and 234 of those 455, Nebraska. Boy, don't you think Ohio State and licking his chops looking at that, but Florida State's got a week in which to regroup. They don't play him for 2 weeks. Maurer spins around, keeps the football, gets down to the 30-yard line, and has a first down. Larry Harris made the tackle at the 30, less than 3 minutes to go. And a ball game that has been a ball game of big plays. Nebraska has looked stronger, but really only leads because of an 82-yard kickoff, punt return, a 94-yard kickoff return, and a fumble picked out of midair and rushed in for a touchdown. The big plays that killed Florida State. Maurer, again that spin, the pitch out. Sophomore drops the ball, Reagan, and Florida State hops off.
And Tom Osborne's got to wonder again, who is my quarterback?
Oh, boy. I mean, the score looks good, but Penn State and Auburn come in on the successive weeks.
As the pitch off, Maurer had it a little bit too far in front. Stretch, a reach, but Florida State closing, making the recovery. And Tom Osborne, you can see his reaction here. Who's my quarterback? Who can do it without making mistakes?
Penn State, as we said, a big Reagan ball club due next week. First down, 2:37 to go. Florida State, Stockstill will do a lot of throwing again. Stockstill, low pass intended for Ricky Williams, but no good. There was Steve Danforth defending, number 35. Stops the clock at 2.5 minutes to go. Well, the Cornhusker fans, and they've been selling out here over and over again. You've read that they've got the NCAA record. I'm really happy to see something like this. They were shell-shocked when Bud and I rolled into town on Thursday night after the Iowa loss. And they may get shell-shocked a little bit next week. When Penn State comes in. But today is a good day for them. Burnett gets a block. Across the 30, flags go down as Burnett gets to the 35. And the flag was thrown way back on the 15, and clipping is called. Van Norman, who just recently intercepted the ball, makes the tackle. Nick Renz, a sophomore tackle out of Buffalo, New York, is on the ground and now being helped up. And wants to stay in the ball game, but I think you're telling him at this stage of the game, Chris, cool it, will you?
See if we can watch the clip on the replay. The pass is caught, and right there we get a beautiful picture of blocking from behind, which is called clipping.
And takes the ball back to the 11-yard line. What is second down? And nearly 20 to go. Greg Allen comes in as a running back. He's the freshman. Florida State has been penalized for 37 yards. Nebraska, well, it might have been a lot different game, 71 yards. Really hurt themselves on some of the drives in the second quarter. There's Allen coming in and getting out near the 15-yard line where Brent Evans makes the stop, and we're down fast approaching the 2-minute mark. In this 34-14 ball game. Next week, Bud and I have quite a game that will be much different than today's game, and that there'll be balls flying all over the air. Art Schlichter of Ohio State will be throwing for Ohio State, and John Elway, the outstanding man that the Yankees would like to play baseball, will be throwing for Stanford.
It's seldom that you get two of perhaps the top 5 quarterbacks in the country by anybody's reckoning playing in the same game. It'll be very interesting to see.
Knoxville has gone all the way, now third down. Hands the ball off to Ricky first down, and Bobby Bowden this time figures it's not the time to gamble. Let's just keep him away from our door, and sends in Ron Stark, the All-American punter from 50 Lakes, Minnesota. By the way, Ron's wife, Ann, their parents, and her brother are in to watch the first college game ever. And I don't think they like what they're seeing.
And particularly when not that one that was returned for a touchdown. 82 yards.
Stark, again, good hang time. Fair catch called for. First fair catch of the game called for by Fryer. Well, 53 seconds to go. And the game belongs to Nebraska, their first win of the year. And for the Seminoles of Florida State, it will be their first loss of the year. Nebraska 34, Florida State 14. Dallas player of the game is Roger Craig, 234 yards, including a history-tying 94-yard run. And we've got a new quarterback in there. Bruce Matheson has come on as a quarterback. And that is the fourth quarterback for Nebraska we have seen this afternoon. And here's our Vitalis. Well, I thought we had our Vitalis man.
That was a glimpse of him, kind of like Nebraska gets. There he is in the open, outrunning everyone in that 94-yard touchdown run.
Matheson is pitched the ball out, and Florida State may have gotten it. They did. Matheson pitched the ball out intended for Paul Smith, I do believe, and it was hopped on by Florida State with 15 seconds to go. It looked like Dave Ponder, the sophomore, number 85.
And that again complicates Tom Osborne's quarterback problem.
Okay, he's used 4. Which one do you go with? I guess the one that looks best in practice this week.
I don't think so. Turner Gill was only in a short time and fumbled the ball by himself, trying to change arms with it. So we really haven't had a chance to look at him much mechanically.
Cedric Jones, a freshman running back from Valdosta, comes in. 9.4 speed. We've seen him in on kicking teams. First time we've seen him in as a running back. He's a tailback, number 41. And they're going to give him a chance to throw the ball. Throws the ball downfield for Hester and knocked away by Rodney Lewis. Number 5. 8 seconds left.
The running pass is still one of the great plays in football, but Nebraska, thinking pass, doesn't take the running fake at all. Lewis played the ball beautifully. Looked as though the man was behind him, but he did not let the man get that position until he saw the ball in the air and was able to make the play on it.
Well, a lot of these 75,000 plus fans are on their way now, and they're going to have a good feeling this week. I think they'll get a little apprehensive toward the end of the week when they realize the magnitude of what they must do with Penn State. Stockstill, no chance at all. See you later. Number 63, Doug Herman comes in as the game is over. Nebraska has won its first, and now 1-1. Florida State, which upset the team, Nebraska here last year in a exciting game. Not so exciting today because they gave up the big play. 3 big plays, and Tom Osborne says hello and goodbye to Bobby Bowden. And Florida State, after winning its first 2 over Louisville 17-0 and 10-5 over Memphis State, now loses 34-14. Week off for Florida State, and they keep on the road. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, and LSU. As we said, it is truly an athletic director's scheduling. They'll take home after these 5 road games about $1 million. But how many games